Hello everybody, my name is Garlips and I'm here to help you through the next 2 to 4 hours of Final Fantasy IV. Yes, it is us. We are StruggleR and we are back for Season 2. Let me introduce you to our commentators. It is me, Garlips, and I'm joined by the effervescent, the wonderful Tater84.
Me! Hi, Garlips.
Hello, Tate. I'm sure some of that got cut off, at least on my end it did. So.
I went yay really high and loud.
Well, it was loud enough that it broke all of my. It broke everything. Everything's broken.
And that is how we start Season 2 StruggleR.
I mean, there's nowhere to go but up. Presumably in some kind of airship. Now, before we get to that, let's of course remind all of the folks at home exactly why we're here. We are brought to you by the Wheel of Struggle. Now, I know some of you in the chat, you might be aware of what the Wheel of Struggle is, but if somehow stumbled into this stream, or even better, you're watching the VOD on YouTube, and you're like, what the hell is the Wheel of Struggle? Well, the Wheel of Struggle is a lovely group of folks that we've managed to amass, and it's a gaming competition. It's like a book club, but for games. We come up with a season of games, and then those games get spun on the wheel, and usually involves some kind of hard challenge or kind of rule set that basically means everyone gets a score, and those scores are tallied and put into a leaderboard that absolutely doesn't matter, except it's everything. It's literally everything. If that interests you, please feel free to head over to thewheelofstruggle.com for more information, or you can always DM this channel that you're watching it on, or reach out to anyone who's named in this stream. You'll probably get a response from them, and they'll help you on your way.
Yeah, perfect time to join as well. We've just finished our last season, so brand new season, TBC. Ironically,
StruggleR is always the best time to join the season, join the Wheel of Struggle. So yeah, why not?
Yeah.
But now, and chat are very excited. They want to know what your favourite Final Fantasy is, Taters, but we haven't got time for that. I'm afraid we're going to transition over to the next screen. We're here to meet our racers. Do you have a Final Fantasy favourite, by the way, Tates?
What is the one that is actually final? Like, what's the one where the fantasy ends and there is no more fantasy?
Well, I mean, I guess technically that would be the last one that released, so I guess 16?
That's my favourite.
Until 17 comes along.
Until 17 comes out. Yeah.
Perfect. Makes sense. We are blessed to be here today with our two racers who are going to be racing Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise. Don't worry, we'll get on to exactly what Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise means in due course. But first, let's meet our racers. We have the wonderful, some presume to be AI, but I've seen him in the showers. I think he's real. His name is Marc-Man59.
Hello.
Soft clap, not to clip.
And joining us versus Marc-Man, we have RaefGall. I'm not pronouncing that right, Raef.
You are.
Fantastic.
Another slightly louder clap, not to clip.
So, thank you for joining us. This was, I think, one of the very first races that got kind of like laid down in the potential race channel. And I believe you two knew pretty quickly that you wanted to go up against each other. I believe there's some kind of shared past here, is there not?
Yeah, we've raced before. It's fun.
Racing
We've
is
both been
fun.
playing this for quite a while, on and off, and it'd been a while. So
So
it should be fun.
Back in the saddle for Struggle Season 2. Okay, well, we asked both of our racers about their history with this game, so we can talk about that for a little bit and fill up some time. That sounds great.
Yay.
So, Marc says that this is your favourite Final Fantasy game. Final Fantasy IV?
It is. This is my favorite one.
Going back to the 90s, wow. And you're not sure if it was you who introduced it to Raef, or if it was Raef that introduced you to the randomizer, but you've been playing it for several years now. The randomizer specifically.
Yep. Yeah, the randomizer specifically. We've done just some take a screenshot of our time and send it to each other, and send the seed to each other, and be like, "Oh, this one was so good. Oh, this one was terrible." And kind of off the cuff.
Never done a
racing.
live race before, so that'll be maybe a little different.
World exclusive.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the first ever Final Fantasy IV Enterprise race. I don't think we can claim that, but it is
No.
the first one with Raef and Marc, man. So, I mean, and that's all that really matters.
On the Wheel of Struggle channel.
Exactly. Well, you, Raef, you have about 100 runs of free Enterprise over the last 5 years.
Yes. Yep. I've been, well, my ones on my YouTube channel are up to 79 base runs. I know I've done some other stuff because that doesn't count the tutorial runs or a few of the other modes that I've done. So
That's
around 100.
incredibly impressive numbers. I haven't even thought about how many, because we raced Symphony of the Night as a randomizer in the last season, and I beat Marc, man, but that's not important. I can't remember how many of those I
Take
did.
your victory lap. You earned it.
I can't remember. I literally was telling Raef at the start, by the way, before we began, that I literally won on a Marc self-imposed handicap that he didn't even know he had applied to himself. So, but you know, maybe in the future. But I was going to say, I think maybe I played 10 of those tops, or maybe 15. So that's a massive number, sort of getting on towards 100. And I was also going to say that you kind of wrote the book on this thing because you literally wrote me a book to help me understand. So I appreciate that.
I did write, so I've done 2 tutorial videos in the past, and I've put together the primer for Garlibs that was, I think, 10, 12 pages, somewhere in there.
I mean, I've read shorter books, so I think it counts as a book. But I will say, for anyone...
I know that those things exist.
Books. Yeah, I've seen them.
Well, I was talking more specifically about the tutorials and the Final Fantasy book.
Aha.
I know that they exist. I have scrolled through it.
I will say, for anyone who's interested by this race today and wants to get involved with Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise, I definitely recommend Raef's videos because they are really helpful in getting a kind of a beginner's guide to the whole process. So, right, well, oh, I said favorites before, didn't I? But it's history. Let's move on to favorites. This apparently is Marc's definitely favorite Final Fantasy. But it does actually say here that Raef has a different favorite depending on whether it's randomized or not.
Oh, this is the only one I really like randomized, but yeah, Final Fantasy VI has always been my favorite. It was my first, and I love it.
I think, I mean, I don't want to quote myself on this because I'll look like an idiot and everyone will say, but that's not how it works for me. But I feel like most people's favorite Final Fantasy is usually the first one they play. I'm not sure if that's technically true, but it's true for me and now also for you. So that's like 2 people.
That's
Pretty
not
big
how
sample
it
size.
works for me.
Always got to be different, don't you, Marc?
Mhm.
Well, getting on to some fighting talk because we like to encourage, animosity and raging, burning hatred for each other here. And we have some fighting talk that you've written each other. Marc, you've written, "Don't tease the octopus, kids." Is that some kind of reference to an octopus?
That is a Final Fantasy VI reference.
Aha.
I genuinely thought that was just one sentence of "Don't tease the octopus, kids," in reference to Octobot. And
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Well, it works on 2 levels, you know?
it does.
You should also not do that.
Yeah, don't tease Octo's kid. Really, he gets really, really. itchy
Also,
about that.
I would just like to say welcome to everybody who's shown up today for the stream. It's great to see you all, but also a special welcome to Bova, who recently followed for the first time. So welcome on in, and Uncle Ulti is with an exclamation mark. Is that the name of an octopus?
Yes, Ultros is the octopus.
I'm learning so much about Final Fantasy today.
Thought there was just another one of Marc's nicknames, but I'm glad we cleared that up.
While Raef's fighting talk says, "Don't forget Mist Dragon." Now,
Oh, yeah.
is this something you've been forgetting, Marc?
It is something I have forgotten recently, yes.
Ooh. Twisting the knife there, Raef. I like it.
A little friendly reminder. I don't want him to lose on a technicality.
The tracker doesn't have a good indicator of whether you've checked missed or not. So
It does not. That is the one thing that with this tracker that I will agree. It does not tell you to do Miss Dragon.
Ah. Well, fantastic. And both of you, when asked to present simply one word to us, have nearly written the same word. Marc, you've written spoon.
Mm-hmm.
Explain yourself.
So the spoon is a key item in this game, renamed from the knife. And typically the knife is a throwing weapon. It does all 9s. You can use it one time. But in the randomizer here, they've made it to be Edward's best weapon because Edward is typically incredibly useless. But it gives him like superhuman powers. So that's my reference.
Nice. And Raef, you've written spoony.
Which, the reason that the spoon is included is because there is a famous quote from the translation of this game, which was Tella calling Edward, "You spoony bard." So that is why they included it, and let's have a spoony run.
Well, now I know where Spoony got his name from as well, because I'm familiar with the
Yes.
former content creator. I don't know if he's even still online anymore, but yeah, we all used to watch Spoony back in the day, so I guess that's where he got his name from.
It is.
Shout out to Ted Woolsey, the localizer.
We were having a discussion the other day about I love localization. I think it's a real art form. Breath of Fire. That's what I was talking about. Anyway, never mind. That's not important. What is important is we are now going to transition over to our race screen. So I hope you're all ready. There goes the StruggleR soundtrack, and we are blessed with the wonderful tones of the Fun Fantasy prelude kind of opening music. So we have Marc up top in the top left, and we have Raef down in the bottom right. And this is how your race is going to look for the next however long. So, you both have a randomized seed that's the same seed. We should briefly explain roughly what is going to happen. So I've taken this directly from Final Fantasy IV's Free Enterprise wiki. As I understand it, the Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise is an open-world ROM hack and scavenger hunt randomizer for Final Fantasy IV for the SNES, which was, released in the US as Final Fantasy II. In Free Enterprise, you're given the airship at the beginning of the game, and you may complete whatever quests are available to you in any order. Further, the pass opens a passage in Toroya that will take you directly to Zeramus whenever you're ready to defeat him. Additional options allow for randomization of key items, characters, treasures, shops, and more. So, in the notes that Raef sent over, I believe you've decided on several kind of rules or stipulations, and etc. And would you like to go into those real quick?
Sure. So we have 6 out of 8 flags that need to be completed. You can see there. I'm not sure exactly what you can see on which screen, but 6 of those are randomized, and then we have, 5 of those are randomized every time, and then we have 3 which are just forging the sword, which requires the legend and the adamant, unlocking the sealed cave, and breaking the Dark Elf spell with the Twin Harp. So Marc and I each picked one. I picked Sealed Cave, Marc picked Twin Harp. Forge is kind of a classic, so we just made that the default, and then 5 others are randomized. We have to complete 6 out of 8 to get the crystal, and you need the crystal to beat the last boss. See, Summon and Moon are included, which means, so in the original game, there's spots where you can fight summon monsters to get special powers for Rydia. There's also 5 special bosses on the Moon. We've included all of those into where our key items can be found. So potentially, we might have to fight some real hard bosses to earn the items we need to complete our quests. Characters. We each picked one character to ban. I picked Yang, Marc picked Fusoya. Let's see. No free characters, which means you have to actually complete an objective or use a key item to unlock every character, or beat a boss, at least. And then, let's see, the C Neki flag is on, which means our characters don't start with any equipment. We have to find all of that ourselves. Treasure and shops are both set as pro, which means that it is pretty limited as far as what we can find in chests and shops. All of that gets randomized, so this determines kind of the level of randomization. So the most powerful items are going to be very rare. And then we have a couple glitches that are turned on. The warp glitch, which allows us to skip the sealed cave. The life glitch, which lets you get a little bit more XP when you're grinding by throwing a life potion at a dying enemy. And the back row glitch, which lets you basically trick the game into thinking your melee characters have ranged weapons. That's
Fantastic.
most of it.
No, that all sounds very straightforward. So, yeah, I see as well that you've both got your own timers. Does that run off the actual launching of the game itself, or do you have to time that manually yourself?
It's a manual click.
Manual click.
Okay, no worries. Well, I suggest we all do that, because then if there is some kind of like obviously there's going to be some lag, because right now we're spanning multiple continents. So, you know, we can take the time at the bottom as gospel, but I would imagine, well, it depends on how close you gentlemen are, doesn't it? But at least that will provide us a way of telling your own local time, as opposed to what might there be lag difference anyway. You know what I'm trying to say.
I'm down with that.
Mr. Matt's absolutely correct. I've been spoiled by Handsome Strive's wonderful auto splitters. But you may have noticed that there is a wonderful tracker there that will show the progress that the two races are making, including key items and quests being completed, as well as the characters in the top as well. So I would say, unless there's anything else, gentlemen, we're probably ready to get going.
I'm gonna go off on a tangent here for a few seconds, Scarlips, only so that you can update the stream title.
I'm not sure. Can you do that? Because I'm not sure I can do that right now.
I don't think I can.
I think I'm a mod, but I'm not sure I have the power to do that. And I'm not logged into the page at all. That is a pain. And I apologize. It's an oversight.
I wonder if I can do it from here. Let's see.
At least when it goes up on YouTube, folks, it will have the right name from the beginning.
It'll look great.
I can only do it in OBS if I'm logged in, Mr. Mountain. I only have the stream key for the WoS account.
I can do it in OBS. Here's the good news, though. While we are doing this is the perfect time for StruggleR Season 2 to start. It has been confirmed that all previous memes and jokes have finished. Kylo did indeed practice for Zelda 2. So he's ready to run that race. And Octo did eventually finish Sonic. So this is the perfect time for us to be starting Season 2. So I'm very, very excited. And again, just to plug the Wheel of Struggle one more time while we're doing this and getting all of this finally set up. This is StruggleR, which is our off-season content for the Wheel of Struggle. The Wheel of Struggle welcomes you and welcomes everyone who is new, either on the VOD or here in chat. And if you want to get involved, please feel free to do so. It's a very, very fun community. We all love it, and our last season has finished, and our new season will hopefully be starting fairly soon-ish once the council get everything sewn up and ready to go. But yeah.
Yeah. Kytheus.
Yeah, well, I wasn't gonna use names. we may or may not be waiting for one council member's list of games. Can't confirm or deny, I'm afraid.
Also, as well, do we just want to discuss what our lovely audience will be hearing throughout this stream? Because I think the racers aren't really going to be talking that much. Is that right? Did I pick up on that correctly?
Yeah. So because this is a randomizer, and you know, potentially there could be hints given through like exclamations or good noises or bad noises. We're going to be muting and deafening both races like we did on the previous randomizer races, Symphony of the Night and Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time last season. So what we'll be doing is we'll be periodically checking in with our racers sort of every so often. We don't want to bug them, but at the same time, I'm pretty sure I can fill everything I know about Final Fantasy IV in about 2 minutes. So, and that's optimistic. So we might be calling in to our racers quite a few times throughout the race. We promise we'll try not to be annoying. Mainly it'll be just to ask, like, what are you doing right now? What are you going for? That kind of thing. And then once one of you has made an obvious win or victory, we will congratulate that person, and then, you know, we will then turn our attention to the other racer. If they're a long way off and they feel like they're not going to make it or whatever, then maybe we'll call it early, but otherwise we'll probably just wait for them to finish, and then we'll have a good laugh about it afterwards. And yeah, that should be how it works. You'll be hearing game audio from one of the two racers. If one racer is obviously in the lead, we might switch audio. We've also been told there is a harp cutscene to watch out for, and if any of you eagle-eyed members in the chat see that and we don't, let us know, because we can flick the music over to hear the custom music that will be playing during that section of the game. So
Awesome. And it looks like I got it updated. That's amazing. So our
fantastic.
Oh, and also just to promote StruggleR a little bit as well, throughout the stream you will see our Acolyte of Strugglebot mention some of the upcoming StruggleR races, as well as in the calendar or schedule of the Wheel of Struggle channel. You'll see all confirmed StruggleR races that are coming up, the times, the dates, and the bot will make reference to them too. So if you like this, or you want to see what else is coming up, look out for the bot, look out for, or check out the calendar on the Twitch, Wheel of Struggle Twitch page for all of the races coming up. And they'll also be in our Discord as well if you want to join that. We have a new Discord. Just keeping that meme alive. But yeah, I think, Garlips, we are ready to go.
Fantastic. Yeah, let's get started, because there'll be plenty of time to fill during the race.
Yeah.
So any last words, gentlemen, to each other before we deafen you?
Good luck. Let's have a good one.
Good luck, have fun. No Edwards, please.
Oh, I had Edward with Spoon starting yesterday, and it went very well.
Okay, fair.
Alright, I'm turning my phone off just so I can't see all the cool stuff. I'm out of
No
chat.
worries.
Sorry, everybody. Going radio silent.
Okay, right. Well, let's count us down then. So, we will begin in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Begin. Good luck.
Good luck, guys.
Thank you.
We'll get these guys muted and deafened so they can't hear us, they can't hear each other. And now the time that we have both feared Garlips, it's just down to us.
Yeah, this is the bit where we kind of show that we have no idea what the fuck is going on.
That's it, exactly.
I do know that what we're doing right now is they're being introduced to the two characters that they have. So you can see there's a blonde one and a blue-haired dragon man. So that's pretty good. I think that's probably great, actually. Luck to begin with. And they've now boarded the airship. This is where the mod gets its name. Free Enterprise. Basically, it unlocks the airship from the start of the game, so you can flit about the map doing whatever you feel like, and there's lots of randomized loot and what have you as well. You can see on the progress trackers, hopefully the text is big enough for you to read, there are quests that our team are going to be trying to do, and they only need to defeat 6 of those. There should be 8 of them in the list, but they only need to finish 6 of them to be able to go and fight the final boss. So that's where some of the tactics is involved. The whole thing to me seems kind of like, say you're really, 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 like really fucking good at Rubik's Cube, and then you hand the Rubik's Cube to the computer and you say, give me, whiz up the Rubik's Cube, and they hand it back to you and you're like, okay, so, and then you start solving the Rubik's Cube. It's kind of like that. The game's gone, look, here's a thing that you can beat, but the path that you take is up to you. And so I think what they're going to do...
And that's what they've done already. Like,
Yeah.
literally, they've both gone different ways right off of the bat, which is Fairly interesting.
That's
I'll tell you a
absolutely
fun fact that I have about this, Garlips.
Mm-hmm.
There was, or still is, I don't know, a popular Mario World ROM hack creator called Barber's King. And he's made three very popular ROM hacks about the streamer Grand Pooh Bear. And he's called them Grand Pooh World. And in the third one, very randomly, he had... I think we're all familiar with the Mario Overworld. Mario World Overworld. And he very randomly introduced an airship into the last game, and that's how you navigated through the overworld to all the different levels. And I was like, that's an interesting choice. I wonder where that came from. And now I know.
Yep, there you go. I mean, well,
is...
it tends to be a Final Fantasy staple, the old airship. I mean, I've only played the best Final Fantasy, which is Final Fantasy VII. And you know, the chat are probably going to go, oh no, that's not actually the best one, but they're lying. It just is. And that one's got an airship in it as well. So.
Ah, okay. So maybe it's not this one specifically, but just the overall idea.
Here's a question I can answer. So Hex in the chat says, do they not have random encounters? And I can answer this question. I actually know this one. Holy shit. Yes, they have turned off random encounters. So apparently it's a switch that you can switch on or off. And there may be a scenario later where they need to switch it on to do some form of leveling or farming of resources or something. I don't know why you would switch it on, but they kind of... the option is there for them, but it's turned off, I believe, as default because obviously it just slows everything down. But yeah,
should we do a bet for today's race? We probably should do that. I don't know if I can. Let's see.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like, it took us half an hour to notice that the stream title was wrong and fix it.
Right.
So maybe by the end we'll have set up a bet. That would be good.
Let's see. Log out of this. I'm going to lose chat here for a little bit, I think. So you might want to keep a quick eye out on that while I try this out.
Okie dokie. At the moment, it's just Mr. Matt Internet, so you can safely disregard anything that's being posted.
Oh, fantastic.
And the bot. The bot's going mental.
Let's see if our leader is online.
I'd just like to take the time to thank everybody who's come to see the stream, the race today. We see a lot of strugglers in the chat. We've also got that new person Bova as well. It's lovely to see you all, and thank you for helping to support the StruggleR project, because it's literally only exists because people give up their time to come here and do it. So we're also here to heckle Marc, man. Of course, Ash. Of course.
Okay.
I mean, technically, Markman lost his last race on StruggleR. So
it's going to be interesting to see this season who's going to dethrone me as the 100% race winner of Season 1 StruggleR. I'm very excited for this year.
Well, legend has it, Taste, that there has been talk amongst yourself and myself and Decky F of a not an Only Up rematch, but of a different game. We haven't told the general public about this yet, but do you feel like maybe now is the right time to
Alright,
nail
go
our
for
colours
it.
to the mast?
Go for
Okay, so what we're thinking is, because obviously, no offense to any of the other races, and please don't take offense, this is just a joke. Obviously we need a culmination, a finale to the season that, you know, sort of surpasses all the races that have happened previously. And of course the only way that could happen is if it was a race involving myself, Tater, and Deck, because we're the best racers, we race the best games. So we were thinking we would probably make the finale, which will probably be early March time. We're going to do a race of Chained Together. Now, Chained Together is a game famously where you're supposed to work together in a cooperative fashion to beat the game. But the one time that we all met up and played it, we basically ended up shouting at each other.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
Tate still won't get into any kind of vehicle with me whatsoever. So we were thinking, why not race each other at Chain Together, but only only as one player, like, basically destroy the entire premise of the game.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'll probably be the finale, hopefully. Schedules permitting, of course.
Schedules permitting.
But yeah,
Okay.
I can see that already Marc has ticked off one of the things on his list. Oh, he defeated the boss in the Mist Cave. That was the thing he wasn't sure about. So do you think maybe that's Marc making sure he doesn't forget by doing it first?
I mean, after Season 1 race, probably.
We have a number of offended people in the chat. Don't worry, that means I'm doing my job properly.
Fantastic. I am still trying to get in. It logged me out of Twitch for some reason when I got in, and now I'm not getting the code that I need. So I'll be right back with you. Keep going though, girl. You're doing a great job.
No worries. So, yes. This is Final Fantasy IV, which is the fourth Final Fantasy in the Final Fantasy series.
Was there a fifth?
There was indeed a fifth, and then a sixth. Who knew? Yeah, I mean, we touched on it before, but this game, actually, when it was released in the US, and I believe the UK, I'm not sure if we actually got it, but definitely in the US, this was released as Final Fantasy II. And then Final Fantasy VI was released as Final Fantasy III, just to be super, super annoying and confusing. I guess nowadays, you know, localization doesn't kind of like skip things anymore, or like, you know, it'll have like a little subtitle, but back then, it's like, you didn't even know that there were 6 Final Fantasies, you just knew there were 3, you know? It's like Squaresoft deliberately lied to you. Ah, thank you, Quantum P1. That's what that little voice in the back of my head that I like to call the low-res voice, because it, you know, it's usually right, and it's usually on low-res that it starts talking to me. I'm like, my gaming knowledge, not great, but occasionally there's a little voice in my head that says, I don't think we got that one, Garlips, or no, I don't think that came out here. And yeah, fair enough. I do remember picking up Final Fantasy VI on the PlayStation. That's the only place I've actually bought Final Fantasy VI. And it came with some FMVs as well, so I'm guessing they did... Oh no, actually, I think I have the Final Fantasy Anthology, but I don't know how many Final Fantasies are in there. So there. 7 was the first in Europe. Wow. Well, there you go. I mean...
That's the first game that I remember. My friend got that, and that's the first time I remember ever hearing anything about Final Fantasy. It was Final Fantasy 7 on the PlayStation?
Yeah?
Yep.
I mean, it's a weird way to say PlayStation, but yeah. No,
PlayStation?
Exactly the same for me. Someone lent it to me. They were like, you've got to play this thing. Because, well, I was in secondary school, like, Final Fantasy 7 came out in 98? Or it might have been 7, it might be the end of 7, but, yeah, so I'd only just got a PlayStation. The talk of the playground was Metal Gear Solid at the time. And then my friend said, oh, you've got to play this other thing on the PlayStation, it's called Final Fantasy 7, it's really good. And they lent it to me, and I was like, whoa. So, Anthology was 5 and 6. Interesting, I thought. I'm going to do a little bit of a Google. But yes, we can see here that Raef has still not actually managed to do any of his quests yet, but the one thing I will say about this game and this system, and the way these quests are set up, is that some quests are not equal. Some quests are longer and more difficult than others. Some quests literally equate to just go to this place and open this thing. Others are like huge dungeons. So it's not necessarily a mark of who's winning so far, but it's literally the only measurable metric that we have as plebs who don't understand Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise. So I'm just going to say Mark Man's winning right now.
There you go. It sounds good. The one thing that's really interesting, that it always interests me about these games, or these types of games in general, is how critical and crucial your menuing is, since it's such a massive part of the game.
Yeah.
Wrong click here, misclick there, could spell disaster. And these guys, just looking at, even not knowing that much about the game and what they're doing, just the speed that they're menuing is crazy to me.
Absolutely nuts, yeah. Agree 100%. This is not really my kind of speedrunning forte, but I did recently have the pleasure stroke displeasure of having to learn a speedrun of a game kind of quite similar to this. It's not quite the same, but it was a Capcom RPG of the same era called Breath of Fire. And likewise, there were some bits of the menu that just came kind of like naturally in terms of like muscle memory, because I always had to press the same thing every time. But literally one time I forgot to buy one thing by accident, and it threw everything out. Like literally the entire run was messed up from that point on.
Yeah.
So yeah, it can absolutely go that way. Did Garlips just say he had a pleasure stroke? Not on stream. Not on stream. Got to go to a different website for that.
I know how excited you are about the StruggleR Season 2 being back. So, I mean, it's okay if you did.
Now, that is true. I'm hugely excited, and I'm so glad to have all my friends here with me as I do it. Oh, boy.
And that only took us 12 minutes to descend into chaos. Fantastic.
It's a new record. It's yeah, I'd love the sprite work in this. It's beautiful. And look at those little zombies in there. And we got an ice dragon up in the top as well.
I mean, that's the perfect freeze frame if you pause Thriller at exactly the right time. It's exactly what they look like in that music video.
Fantastic. They're called ghasts. Ooh.
So unfortunately, I've not been able to set up a poll. I'm not able to get logged in to find out who will bet. And I thought there was maybe something I could do with the bot, but I don't think so, unless Mr. Strife has any fancy tricks up his sleeve that he wants to add. But let us know in chat.
Yeah,
Who do you think's going to win?
Yeah, we can just do it the old-fashioned way. We can just ask you to spam words, and we'll read them.
Yeah.
I would like to add that Raef has now managed to fulfill the same goal that Markman has, so...
It looks like, is Raef ahead just by the tracker?
They both have one each, and Marc fulfilled his one first.
Oh.
But yes, you're right. Raef has got a different item at the bottom, while Marc doesn't seem to have that item.
Yeah. So it's all to play for, is what we know.
Absolutely.
It's still all to play for.
I mean, I feel like this is the ultimate test in blaggery, because...
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Like, people tuning in thinking they're going to see a great Final Fantasy IV race. They are. Will you hear great Final Fantasy IV commentary?
Yeah, it's more like if you're looking to tune in for an awesome Final Fantasy IV free enterprise race, the best thing you can do is press the mute button.
Yes. Yeah. So, free Spotify plans are available. Put on some good music, you know, or even listen to the audio on this, and yeah, just drown us out.
I will say though, we do have Bova in the chat, who's been very helpful and does know a lot about it. So please feel free to chime in with any little bits and details that you think would help. We need a lot of help. So
we do, and we do have a very Final Fantasy knowledgeable chat. I know Strife is. I think Final Fantasy is the only thing he does know. It's definitely not coding. Bover, I'm probably butchering that. We already know Quantum is the god gamer chosen by prophecy, so just by title alone, knows Final Fantasy. So I think we should be okay. As long as chat keeps us right, I think we'll be okay.
You know what? I feel very good about this. I will say, Quantum P1, if you like Final Fantasies, there's loads of Final Fantasies in your schedule for January on the shared network. If you go into that file,
schedule's wrong, mate. That's a Quantum joke.
Oh, it's a Quantum joke. I don't watch Quantum. I do watch Quantum actually. I'm kind of annoyed because the few times I've watched Quantum, I've just like gone all in betting on him, and he's just let me down every single time. I have no channel points left.
There's actually in his Discord, I think there's a private channel for zero pointers that I'm not going to say have been hurt, because you know he is the god gamer and he will prevail. But sometimes, you know, even gods can bleed. What are we doing, Gallops?
Well, they both look like they're in the same place right now, which is very interesting, given the fact that they've got fairly similar progress so far.
Yeah, I think at the start there was obviously some very specific things that they were looking for, very specific items that they wanted to either know that they were going to get or not get, and now they've both kind of found out yes or no and are now joining the same path.
Yeah.
That's observation for you folks.
Well, I wonder how many of these this criteria that you've got to fill in. I wonder how much of it can be kind of like bits and pieces of it can be done along the way, if you know what I mean. Like when I was playing Breath of Fire, when I had to learn the run for that, like I was actually working at a couple of things in the background while I was doing the main thing I was doing at that time. Like I was doing some bits for later. I wonder if there's a lot of doing bits for later in this run as well.
Probably. I think that's a kind of common theme that you see in a lot of these randomizers, right? We saw it in the Resident Evil remake in Season 1. We saw it on the Symphony of the Night randomizer as well in Season 1, that you're just, based on what you're collecting or what you're looking for, that might change. Like, okay, I've got this for later, so actually I'm going to try this now. Now that I know I've got that, I'm going to go for this now. And okay, now that I know that that's not there, I'm going to focus on this path now. So I'm sure there's going to be a lot of that going on. Did you win that race, Resident Evil?
I did win the Resident Evil race.
You did win the Resident Evil race, that's right.
I was going to say, is it the only one I won? No, I think I won Symphony of the Night. But I think I lost everything else that I played.
You did. You did. I can confirm. There was a time where we thought you might have created this entire StruggleR race and not win a single one.
I've got a huge public humiliation kink. I need to be beaten by everybody.
Oh, Action Chat is throwing a gauntlet down for Marc here. He doesn't know this, but Marc is also racing against the girls getting home from Grandma's house.
Nice.
So we might need to tell him actually when we speak to them later on. We might need to tell him, just so that he has that extra motivation.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it won't add to the pressure at all.
The early route is very standard. They're just doing the same low-level checks in slightly different order, but lots of your route changes based on those checks. Yeah, cool. So kind of what we said. It's you get that item, you go, okay, I'm going to this part next then, or that item's not there, cool, I'm going to this part next then.
Yeah. Definitely Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time randomizer is like that. You're pretty much you're trying to find the things that open up the next kind of I think they call them spheres, but basically like they're not actual spheres. It's more like kind of like I'd see it as a series of walls, and it's like you can't get past this wall till you find this thing. But if you find the one that opens the other wall, then you can progress in a different direction to find the thing you need for the first wall, kind of thing.
Yeah. And that was a Kylo race last season? Was it you and Kylo?
Kylo thrashed me hollow in both races that I raced him in. I raced him at the Ocarina of Time randomizer, and I raced him at Sonic CD.
You probably should have done the Zelda 2 race.
That would have been
that would have been a gimme.
I would have practiced more than him, ironically.
Yeah, exactly. But
it's
like, I've got this.
No, I remember the young heady days of Season 1 of StruggleR. Zelda 2 was the first race between Marc and Kylo, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to play a little bit of all these games I haven't played before, just so I know what it feels like, just so that I can speak from a place of knowledge. And then for Season 2, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck a Final Fantasy is.
I just in general have a loathing for any title that is wrong. Final Fantasy, and there's like 19 of them, so it's very not final.
It is. It's an oxymoron.
And the never-ending story. There were credits. I saw the credits.
Yeah.
It ended.
I think they had the goal to release 2 more movies after that.
Yeah, exactly. And they had credits as well.
And they had Jack Black.
I don't know if that makes it worse or better, but my point still stands.
Can't argue with the logic.
Can't argue with the logic.
So we can see here that Raef has now finished the first item on his list, which was defeat the guards boss. So now I would say officially ahead of Marc at the moment.
I'd say so. Now, Mark going to be a disadvantage. Mark has, although I'm sure, been playing games in his spare time, he hasn't had the competition of the wheel as Mark had a break this year. So I don't know. Well, I think a little bit of like competition, speed running rust might be showing here.
It's creaking in the joints, I think.
Yeah. Actually, just pull that up here.
I've just realised we got about 2 hours of shit talking Marc and he can't hear us.
That's brilliant. It is brilliant, and that's when you know that they watch the VOD when they suddenly come back. Hey,
hey. Yeah, ship music pretty jaunty. I will say that.
Well, I was gonna see where Raef finished in the Wheel of Struggle, but our table's disappeared, so can't do that.
We're finding all of the technical issues today.
Right? They're getting a bunch of easy bosses early, which means late game could be spicy. Well,
Ooh.
Always happy with late spiciness.
Absolutely.
What was the race? What was the race last season that came down to the wire?
Oh.
There was one crazy one. I think I was commentating on it, but there was one crazy one towards the end of last season that really did come down to just. I think it might have been Symphony of the Night. Actually, was it?
I can't remember how far ahead I was of Marc in Symphony of the Night, but I think it was only about like maybe 10 or 15 minutes.
Because, I remember a close one.
Yeah, the problem on the Symphony of the Night race was that Marc had obscured his own tracker, so he couldn't actually see a red square on the tracker that was plainly there, and he didn't know to check it because like he had like a corner of a window over it or something.
That's
I mean,
right.
Maybe that's just what he tells himself at night to sleep on it. So,
heaven forbid Marc loses a game.
It looks like today his tracker is on full display as we can see it, so he must be able to see it too. So thank goodness. But yeah, fans of the wheel, look forward to season 7. It's gonna be good. The planning. It's in the planning stages right now, but it's already shaping up to be very memorable.
These guys, they navigate through these screens so quick. It's even hard just to tell you what. Even if I did know, I don't know if I'd be able to tell you what they're doing. They get through these screens so quickly. They just know exactly what they're looking for, exactly what they want. It's like, oh, you open up a menu and you close the menu. All right, great. Moving on.
It is lickety split, isn't it? Apparently, Raef got the magma key, which opens the underground, the next sphere of difficulties you play. Oh, nice. Yeah. So, like, even though. Like, I guess you imagine it conceptually as a sphere. It's not like a literal physical sphere, but basically, like, each sphere is like a step up, like a size bigger outside of the one you're in. So, yeah, it sounds like Raef might be ahead right now.
It looked like a little safety save there from Raef as well.
It does look like Marc has picked up the other item he was missing compared to Raef. So.
Yep. That's the P. I think it is on the tracker there. I think that was the one that they were missing.
Yeah, I see a little PP on Marc's thing now.
You see a little PP on Marc's thing, do you?
Yeah.
And exclamation clip in chat for for Garlips admitting he's stalking Markman.
The sphere is an onion, yeah. I like to imagine an onion, and then an onion within an onion, and it's onions all the way down.
Just like an ogre.
Just like an ogre, in fact, yeah. I mean, I'd like to think of myself as a highbrow intellectual gamer, but I feel like if they were playing a Shrek game, I'd have more to contribute.
I mean, I could just do impressions.
And 26 minutes is how long it took for the impressions to come in. I mean, right now, Raef is fighting an egg.
We're basically just getting our commentary from a chat, which I think is fantastic. Raef just leveled up Palom specifically to the point where he has Quake. Very good AoE damage spell. Easy XP.
Lovely.
So that's why he's fighting the egg. Okay.
I'm very happy that someone knows what's going on. Look, not only is it very hard to coordinate schedules, just for the races alone, let alone the comms, it's very, very, very hard to find someone who knows what's going on in the specific race enough to comment. So we're trying our best.
We're trying our best. Look, if nothing else, you can at least laugh at how stupid we sound.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. For anyone who's not here for the Final Fantasy IV content, we're covering that base.
Yeah.
Handsome Strife asks, who's best? Well...
At what? With what?
Yeah.
I mean, who's best on commentary? Who's best in the game? Who's best at Final Fantasy VII? Who's best at other games? You're asking a very open-ended question, and I need more details.
I will say, though, despite the slight deviations we've seen in approach from these two runners, they do seem to be very evenly matched, as we can see both of them have pretty much the same equipment and quests fulfilled right now.
Yeah, I think Marc is just a little bit behind, maybe only by a few minutes in, you know, when we've seen them collect these items. I'm sure it's really probably not a few minutes in game time. But it does seem... They do seem to be just kind of right on each other's heels, but it's also got to do with their pathing as well, right? Because Marc was quite a bit ahead. Marc had his first item and first check mark pretty early on.
Yes, he did, yeah. And then it took Raef longer, but I feel like Raef was doing other things in the background that maybe help out at this stage or later on even.
So it does still feel pretty close. I don't feel like there's a giant gap like there was when I won it only up.
That, ironically, like, I'd love to give you shit, but I literally can't. It's like factual evidence that you smashed it. But
whose best are you trying? Is what Strife was meaning.
Someone's best.
Well, I'm trying Garlop's best, and Garlop's trying my best. So we'll get there eventually. Raef has a slight lead, but he's burning it right now for some checks. Oh,
I see. That's interesting. Because I mean, as you saw in the apparently Marc is following those checks, so it looks like they're both kind of methodically working to a kind of a strategy here.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you recall, in the Symphony of the Night race, basically the best sword in the game was in the library. It was a viable item, and I think that, you know, once Marc and I saw that sword was there, I literally grinded on the spot to get the money to buy that sword because I knew that it would speed everything up later. And while Marc kind of went away, did a couple bits and came back with the money to buy the sword. And so it's just a matter of, you know, whether sometimes you make a check and you find a really, really good piece of equipment. You know, sometimes it's better to check for those checks rather than to progress with the kind of the linear or the main quest that you're on, because it will speed everything else up later kind of exponentially. But I mean, you could also make the check and get absolutely nothing. So
I mean, that's right. I remember you basically just running in and out of the same screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, that's the best sword in the game. It turns every enemy into butter. We are going to grind $4,000 or whatever it is that I needed to buy it.
If I remember, I think I might have done commentary on that one, and if I remember correctly, we didn't pick up on commentary that the sword was in the library, so all we saw you doing was just running back and forth in the screens.
Yeah, I have watched the VOD, and I do think you were questioning my sanity at that point. Like, what is he doing here? What's the play?
It's like, okay, he's clearly grinding for something, but what?
Yeah.
And how does he know?
And
why didn't we catch it?
That's how I kind of feel watching this, is like, I can tell that they're doing lots of toing and froing, checking on things, but like I couldn't tell you what any of it means.
Scary bosses. We've got scary bosses.
Ooh. Is it that dancing lad there in in the blue coat.
Don't forget to keep looking out for a harp.
Oh, wow.
I don't know why I don't know why that just reminded me to remember the harp, but remember the harp.
Yes.
Nocturnal Wolf Dog, thank you for the lurk. Welcome in. Apologies if you're just listening in audio.
Yes, for anyone listening in audio, you've got the worst possible experience.
And the Acolyte Struggle there, just reminding us, December 28th, is there a better Christmas present than Cram versus Hex in Mirror's Edge at 11 o'clock a.m. GMT for one of our StruggleR races? It will, that will be a good one, because Hex, I know how... what's the word I'm looking for here? Kind of like detailed and specific hexes, and
Absolutely,
if there's anything that can be broken or manipulated in a race, I am confident Hex will find it. So that is sure to be a cracking race.
Hex has a super logical approach, and Meticulous is a very
Meticulous.
good word,
Thank you.
actually.
Yes.
And I believe they've decided on the category being true glitchless. So they've already decided what kind of like they're allowed to do and not in terms of breaking the game. I think it's going to be one of those kind of races that's all about flawless execution rather than exploits, but even then there might still be things in there that surprise us in terms of making progress in the game. Oh, it looks like Marc's beaten that boss. But yeah, it's going to be a great... And Kramit as well. Kramit has been involved with the Bad Run Club, which is a thing I definitely promise I won't talk about a lot, but will come up during the course of these races, just can't help it. And he's super skilled, so it's definitely going to be a race for the ages. You want to put a cheeky little note in your calendar for that.
Yeah, absolutely. So it looks like Raef, is this one of the bosses that Raef is on here just now?
Raef is literally on the boss that Marc just killed, so I think in the very short term, Marc might be in the lead. Of course, it depends on how much extra stuff Raef's been doing in the background, but in terms of sheer progress.
That's a harp.
Oh.
Wait, do we need to change the music now?
I have no idea.
Yeah. There was a cutscene, but they keep skipping the
about this
cutscenes.
moment.
That's also through the queue they mentioned. Not yet. Okay. All right. Whew.
Okay, cool. So it looks like Marc's kind of ahead of that, like this small segment. So hopefully we'll hear the music on his, and then we can switch over to Raef's for the other custom music. Oh, yeah, we're hearing something right now. Oh, no, it's just a fight.
What is that?
That's a dark elf, my friend. And I only know that because it's written.
It's written right below it.
But yeah,
there's nothing dark or elfish about that drawing.
I definitely saw that creature appear and thought along the same lines as you. What the hell is that? Oh, so here we go. We've got an update from our intrepid reporter Bova, who's live on the scene. Marc is trying the other spicy boss while Raef is skipping. Will this come back to bite Raef later? Hang on, and now I'm just gonna say, Marc is trying the other spicy boss. Raef is skipping. Is this gonna come back to bite Marc later? And now, whichever one of those two it is, you clip it, and I look like a fucking prophet.
That's it. Editing can do wonderful things. Oh, and Marc has already lost. It has been confirmed. Marc has lost the race to the girls, and he now has to basically forfeit.
It's sad.
You
hate to see it in the field of competitive Final Fantasy IV sports.
So, I mean, I think we've seen them both grind a little bit. We've seen one take on two boss battles, the other one skipping the other one. I don't know, what do you think? Probably time to have a little chat, see what they're thinking.
I think so. Yeah. Who do you want to talk to first?
Since Marc has lost the race against the girls, let's see how he's feeling about that early defeat.
Okie dokie. Right, I'm gonna unmute him and then undeafen him. Hello, Marc, man. You are live.
Hi.
How's it going?
It's great. Whoop. Talking to me now. I missed my stop.
That's what we aim to do, is deliberately confuse people.
Remember, don't say fuck or bugger.
Fucking bugger.
Fuck.
So,
How you guys
you
doing?
feeling good about the seed so far?
So far, it's been okay. So it's been great for equipment, right? I'm feeling pretty buff, but the key items have been awfully stingy.
So you think you might get a kind of a wealth of them towards the end?
Yeah, and I just got a really good one, so that makes me super happy.
Yeah, oh yeah, you've got like a little green E thing.
Yeah, the Earth Crystal. So the Earth Crystal lets me open the Treasury, which has the best chests in the entire randomizer, both in number and in strength.
Oh, so you're going to
And
do a
then,
hell of a lot of checks now. Good checks.
yeah, and then I get 2 characters if I go to Zot. So it's just a wealth of everything that's great.
Fantastic.
Now, we did hear in chat that you were not only racing this race, but also racing for your girls to get back, or before your girls got back, and we heard you lost that race.
Yes, they are back now. Like as of like 2 minutes ago.
Now, is that going to hinder your run here? Are they going to cause a sufficient distraction that could bring into question your victory?
No, they might be a distraction, yes, but it's not going to be that much.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
We are going to reword that when we speak to Raef here a little bit to say that the girls are pulling out the controller. Just, give him a little bit of hope.
Okay, all right, yeah, go for it. You tell him whatever you want to tell him, and tell him I said good luck.
Oh, and you just unlocked the pass door.
Yeah,
Just got that check there just now when we were talking.
yeah, so my strategy there is that if I am... Alright, so let me explain a little mechanics. Once you get to 10 key items, you get double experience. So the crystal to beat the final boss counts as one of those. And if I just happen to be at 9 out of 17, and I get the crystal so I can level up faster, it's better for me to just complete that right now than save it for last.
Yeah. Oh, and here
Oh,
are
I got
loads
some-
of chests.
Oh my god, I'm getting so much good shit. Oh my god, dude. Let's get rid of that. That sucks.
One could say it's like Christmas.
Yeah, dude, it's super Christmas.
So you're just about 40 minutes in. Are you progressing roughly to where you'd think at about 40 minutes?
Honestly, I think I'm ahead of schedule right now. I'm doing
Okay.
great. But I would assume... Well, here's the thing. I took a path that I don't think Raef is going to, which helped me a lot in the early game. So we'll see how that turns out.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, we can't tell you, and we won't tell you what Raef has
No.
done. But you are both playing the same game.
Yeah, it's true.
we've
we
worked that
are
out.
playing...
Yeah.
This is very, very true. We are
So-
playing the same game.
Take what you want from that. You are both playing the same game. But yeah, it looks like it's going good from our point of view. Of course, we don't know what we're talking about, and for the last 40 minutes, we've just been discussing really anything that's come to mind. So
Yeah, it's been
I'm glad.
horrendous.
I'm glad that you're finding that you're having a good run so far, which is good.
Yeah, this is awesome. This is fun. I'm having fun.
Excellent. All right, well, we'll call in a little bit. Good luck, and
Okay.
ta-ta for now.
All right, take care, guys.
Okie dokie. So, I'm guessing we should now head over to Mr. RaefGall.
Yeah, let's see. Let's see if we can make up some outlandish lies about what Marc's daughters are doing and how it's putting them off.
Absolutely. All right, I'm unmuting and undeafening now. Hello, Mr. RaefGall, you are live.
Hello.
How's it going?
Really well. I am. I asked for no Edwards, and this is definitely not Edwards.
This is good. Yeah, I mean, I've never met an Edward I've ever liked personally. So
Fair.
Met Jedward.
you met Jedward.
Well, no, they were on my screen for long enough that I felt enough hate to think I know them.
Yeah, to be fair, most of us felt like we'd had enough of Jedward just by watching them on TV.
Yeah.
So we can see here you've made a fair bit of progress.
Yeah. Well, we've got A couple of those were pretty easy and kind of on our normal route, so I assume Marc has gotten those two as well, or if not, he will be shortly.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we don't ever want to tell you what the other competitor is doing, but
No,
I will tell you the same thing that we just spoke with Marc just 2 seconds ago, and I'll tell you the same thing that I told him. We can confirm you are both playing the same game.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
So
That
the
would be
beautiful
really
thing
awkward
about
otherwise.
the beautiful thing about this is as well is that even if we wanted to help, I don't think that we could. So
That's fair. Yeah. I mean, you should at least know how many check marks are next to each person's name. That's kind of the baseline.
Oh, we can see that, but yes, unfortunately, we shall never tell.
Good.
But
You have 2.
Sure,
yes.
I do.
Oh yeah, we can say that much. Yes.
I'm debating on grabbing a third one here, even though I don't really need to right now. But I might be doing that in a moment anyway.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Spicy.
Because the pass is we have the pass. And we
So
can
many
turn it on, but-
chests.
Yeah,
That's
this
an
is
early Christmas present.
This is a special reward you can get if you have the Earth Crystal. So since I just picked that up, I'm grabbing all of the equipment from it before I continue.
Okay.
Because I would like to have as much good equipment as I can for some reason.
I can imagine that'll help in the long run.
Yeah. And we've kind of got a bunch of stuff that we can string together here. Like I said, I'm going to turn in the pass quick. Normally this is the shortcut at the end of the game, but you can do it whenever you want. Doing this just in case we have to go to the moon, so that we don't have to come back down to do that quest reward.
And that's the way to the final boss.
Yes, so that's a shortcut to the final boss. But you can get to him from the moon also. So that way I can, if I end up having to go to the moon, I can not have to come back down for that one last item, which
Makes
basically
perfect
just saves a
sense.
cutscene.
Yeah.
And currently I'm about ready to go do the harp scene that we talked about.
Oh.
Which I've pre-weakened my party down to 1 hit point to be able to basically shortcut us cutscene that's coming up. Which is why everybody's at 1 hit point and I'm not panicking.
So we're, just over 40 minutes, almost 45 minutes in. Are you where you think you would be? Ahead, behind?
I'm feeling a little bit ahead of where I would expect to be. Normally my goal is about 45-50 minutes in. I'm hoping to get underground for the first time. And because of the party we've got, we've just been... I've been able to cruise through a lot of this stuff pretty well. We've also found a lot of easy bosses early, which is both good in that means we're going fast and bad in that it means we may have to fight some of the harder bosses with hard stat pools later. So, something to look forward to.
We can, yeah. Tater wanted to reveal something we can tell you about Marc is that he has already lost a race of his own, so to speak.
Lost a race of his own? Okay.
True. He was in a race to see if he could get this finished before his girls returned from their grandmothers.
Oh.
And he did not. So we just spoke to him just now, and apparently they are running amok.
Total chaos.
Well,
yeah.
I was thinking ahead of time. Marc may be generally a better player than me, but I do have the advantage in having a quieter house. So...
That might be an advantage, because apparently there's been cables being pulled and walking in front of screens and general distractions. So you might have an unknowing advantage.
We can neither confirm nor deny.
I really hope I don't lose on the technicality, as you said. But,
just got the message there in chat to switch the sound over to Raef.
We are going to do that.
And I guess, well, if this is when this is going to play, we will leave you to it so we can hear the noises.
Sounds
Cool.
good.
Good luck.
Thank you.
He is muted and deafened.
All right. Well, I guess we'll let this play off. While this is playing, I'm going to step out for just 2 minutes, Scarlet. So I'll be right back.
No worries.
While we listen to these harps.
Yep. Well, I think they both. I can hear the same music, so I think they both got this track, which is Traverse Town from Kingdom Hearts. There it is.
Oh.
Comes up with a little message. So it sounds like they both got the same music. So I guess maybe.
What are the odds? Oh well, it's the same seed.
Yeah, it's the same seed. That makes a lot of sense. But of course, we couldn't tell Raef that we'd already heard that music before, could we?
Exactly.
Right. Do you need to step out? I'll...
Yes, I'm just going to step away for
No
2
worries.
minutes, and you can tell them that joke, you know.
Oh yeah. So a Final Fantasy walks into a bar, right? And
5 hit points.
well, actually, I was gonna say ellipses ... But yeah,
Ah.
5 points of damage also works.
That's all I know about Final Fantasy. Okay, I'll be right back, sir, and I promise you'll be okay.
No worries. It's just me and you now, chat. Just you and me all alone, watching Final Fantasy 4. More like Final Fantasy 4. So we can see here that Raef is doing the boss that Marc was doing. It looks like, I would say, given the fact that we were interviewing Marc and the music was playing on his screen, and then we interviewed Raef and the music was playing on his screen, I would say Raef appears to be about 5 minutes behind Marc. Something like that. But it looks like we heard the music, which was nice. So what we might do now is we might switch back to Marc's music, because we've had the custom music. Cool. So yeah, we can see here that on items, they're all the same so far, except Raef has a secondary character there, which is definitely different to Marc. Yeah, Raef is behind, but he also leveled a bit. That is something to bear in mind. Absolutely. But thank you for confirming, Bova. Much appreciated. You are indispensable, my friend. Thank God you are here. But yeah, if StruggleR is something that interests you, maybe you want to get involved in one of these races, or better yet, you want to lay down a race of your own against someone that you know or hate, or maybe you're even indifferent to them, but you need to beat them in the field of competitive gaming. Well, StruggleR would love to have you. StruggleR Season 2 is now pretty much a wrap in terms of the races that we're going to try and schedule, but, you know, if it was something special and you were really felt strong about it, then maybe it might be able to squeak its way in. So you never know. You can reach out to me. If you're watching this and there's no chance of that happening because Season 2 is finished, don't worry, there's always Season 3. And hey, guess what? You can join the Wheel of Struggle in the meantime, because the Wheel of Struggle's the main thing, guys. This is just a sideshow. You should totally do the Wheel of Struggle. That's like the main thing. But then also StruggleR is here. NBZ, of course, in the chat, wants to race Garlops in Trials 2. Well, I think that could be arranged. In fact, I believe we have already arranged that, Z. So that's not going to be a problem at all. I guess I need to practice Trials 2. I booted up Trials 2 for 10 minutes to test it before the previous season of the Wheel. Because obviously it was a potential game in Season 6 that didn't get spun, unfortunately. So I was the one who did the testing on that, which literally equated to 10 minutes of firing it up, checking it worked, and stopping. But even that was enough to teach me that I am still shit at Trials. So, yeah, don't worry, Redemption Arc can come in any day now. I'm going to pick up Trials 2 and start practicing. But I've got a number of things to practice before that. I'm going to be racing Klonoa 2 in January. I'm going to be racing Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine in January. I'm also down to race Resident Evil 2 Classic, Claire A. Leon B, with Quantum P1. So hopefully we can get all that arranged shortly as well. But I believe the Trials race is scheduled for February, sort of towards the end of February. So I definitely will sort of like, I guess as February rolls around, pick up Trials 2 and start practicing. But you can tell here, I mean, returning to the race, oh, they're both fighting the same guy. Golbez. Well, he definitely is gold, and he definitely looks like Bez. So Golbez makes a lot of sense. Golbez, why? Why not? It looks like Marc has defeated Golbez. This is something I can say with 100% confidence, because That was the cunt's name, and he's dead. Fantastic. What great work there from Marc. And now the world isn't purple anymore. Actually, I preferred it when it was purple. Can we go back? I love that he's just pitched a tent in the middle of a dungeon as well. I mean, that's what you literally do with a tent in an RPG, but I mean, it's still kind of funny. But I was going to say that you can clearly see that both of our races here have very much practiced hard at this game. I don't understand a lick of what's going on, but I can tell that the gameplay is peak. We are watching professionals do their job right now. In fact, I would say RaefGall must have caught up a bit to be in the same fight as Marc was finishing that fight. Maybe he's not quite as far as behind as we initially thought. It's possible. It's possible that eventual love will find a way. Love will find a way. Oh, it looks like Marc has now got more party members. And he's switching his party around. There they are. Oh. Looks like he's
All right.
with 4 people. Oh no, he's just swapped in an old man with glasses. Welcome back, Tater84.
Oh! I have returned.
Marc has destroyed Golbez, and Raef is still in the fight with Golbez. So
So we're pretty neck and neck then.
pretty neck and neck for the most part. As Bova said in the chat, Raef is behind a bit, but he has also leveled up more than Marc has, so that may come into play later. Right now, Marc seems to be equipping his old gent with equipment.
I did have the stream on there where I walked away and heard you. I did. Heard you talking about your upcoming Trials 2 race with Z coming up. That should be definitely a fun one.
Kythius, it's remiss of me, I should have said, Kythius and Wugger are also down to race on that race as well. So hopefully we can make it a 4-way. But if that doesn't pan out, at the very least, me versus C will be going ahead.
That'll be fantastic. And then our bot there reminding us as well, yourself and Kylo and ERB on OOT Rando.
Yes, so ERB, I don't know if he's played many OOT Randos, but he wanted in on this one. So this was previously a grudge match between myself and Kylo. It still sort of is, but ERB is also going to be there. And we are stepping the randomization up a notch. We're not exactly sure how much yet, but it'll certainly be more randomized than the last one was.
So much to look forward to.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've got double the races on the docket this season compared to last. So I mean, that's 100% growth, which is what you want to see.
I mean, if this was a business, that line's going up.
The line is going up. The profits are still flatlining, but the line go up.
The interest is going up, the profit's flatlining, but the line's going up.
And it looks like Raef has now defeated Golbez as well. It looks like maybe there was a bit of a struggle there fighting against Golbez, but Z has clued us in that apparently Raef did a nice save there during the fight. Presumably he did some kind of tactic that meant that he managed to make it through.
Marc pause?
He did pause. This may be due to unforeseen elements in the room with him. I'm sure if he loses, he will cite that pause as the reason why.
That's it. Yeah, okay. Thank you all for hanging out with us and watching this first race of StruggleR. We do appreciate everyone being here and sticking it out. That's okay. Pausing and running during the boss crumbling animation speeds it up. Well, that's a lot less fun because I really had images of Markman's girls like just jumping on him, and
I mean, yeah, your mental image was a lot more fun, but I mean, this kind of belies what we know about Markman, which is that he's so goddamn deficient that he even knows the strategy to speed up an animation.
Yeah.
What a legend. Oh, he's now arrived at some kind of castle. Doing some buying and selling of items. So let's just check in on the checklist. I mean, I think they're still fairly... yeah, the checklist is still very much a carbon copy at the moment. It's just about who exactly is doing the extra side bits. I think that, you know, as we've talked about, Raef has done a bit of leveling. I think it's going to come down to those little tiny decisions rather than the big ones, because it seems like most of the big ones have played out the same way for both races.
It's a shame there as well. I was just looking to see, but it looks like Markman's checklist has that built-in split feature, which is quite nice just to see when exactly they did it. But it doesn't look like Raef has that. It would have been interesting to compare the times there to see what they were doing. Raef implementing that pause strat as well there. Now that we know that, we can speak to that confidently.
And please clip that part and not the first time we saw it.
Yeah, that'd be great, thanks.
Oh, Marc's now in a purple palace. I mean, I'm loving the purple in this game, but it seems to be associated with evil, and I'm not necessarily happy about that. Because, like, purple is a good colour. It's not necessarily inherently evil. Although now I say it, Wario, Waluigi.
Yeah. Purple is not a good game color, but it is your entire branding, so
it
let
is.
it slide.
But and I like to think of myself as the villain of the wheel, so why not?
This is, I mean, depending on how those last few results went this season, you could have very much been.
Oh yes. Well, see, the problem with the end of the season was, to win the season, I had to play a blinder at Turtles, and I'm just not that good at Turtles.
Was it Donatello?
I prefer to play as Donatello, yeah, but
so purple again. Purple strikes again.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
I've just got a predilection. Is it a predilection? I think that's that sounds like a word you use when someone's describing crimes. I have a preference. I have a preference for purple.
I guess we also have to congratulate our winner for the last season of the Wheel of Struggle.
Yes, congratulations, Love and Flufen. Played an absolute blinder.
Yeah.
Came up and beat me at Peggle, which honestly, like, is just... I'm not saying I'm good at Peggle, but I'm definitely not bad at Peggle. So to grasp the game that quickly and kind of squeeze the points out of it is just absolutely insane. But what I would expect from a master tactician, seeing as that's what Floof seems to favour, is the kind of like the tactical decision-based gameplay.
That's the StruggleR race we need.
Well, it just so happens, you lucky fuckers, that we have an Advanced Wars 2 race scheduled. It's going to be a war room race. I believe it's just how many battles you can win inside the war room. I'm not sure exactly what that details, but don't worry. I'll read a file about 10 minutes before the race to work out what's going on. That's going to be between Floof, Kythius, Decky F, and I believe the fourth one is Kramit? Yeah, Kramit. So that's how that race is shaping up, and that's going to be a February deal as well. So
fantastic. And our report on the scene there just letting us know Raef has already done the fight that Marc was doing, just a couple minutes behind in our chat here. But now that puts them back on pretty much even footing.
Nice. It's been a nice close race the whole way. That's exactly.
It's one of those races. It is. It's one of those races where you know when somebody knows the game.
Yeah.
And both of these guys know the game. And if anybody else was involved in this race, you know, if you or I were involved in this race, we'd still be trying to figure out what the first menu item was.
Yeah, we would be fiddling with our airships. I don't think we'd have ever made it off them, to be honest.
No, that's just, oh, look at this pretty map. Wee.
I can't believe we've gotten to an hour in and we're only just bringing attention to the wonderful Mode 7 effect on the SNES that creates that kind of like faux 3D pixel effect where it takes a 2D plane and makes it look 3D. It's very impressive.
It was a breakthrough.
It was? I can't remember if F-Zero was the first one to do it or if it's just F-Zero was the famous example of it being used. But yeah.
I never knew about any of that stuff growing up. When I had my SNES, it was just, you know, these are the best graphics in the world, and it's never going to get any better than this.
Likewise,
and I was right.
Likewise, but Mega Drive. For me, I'm a Mega Drive kid.
I was spoiled. I had both.
Oh.
I didn't have to choose. But I think, if I remember correctly, I did spend more time on the SNES.
Oh, Raef's fighting another egg. I feel like when we next talk to Raef, we've got to ask him what eggs have done to him to make him so angry at eggs.
I mean, if one doesn't crack the way that you think it should,
yeah,
one rolls off the table.
Maybe
it can ruin a breakfast single-handedly.
Yeah, and maybe, you know, it was ever so slightly out of date and it tasted a bit weird when he ate it. I mean, we've all
thought he got 6, only got 5.
Yep, classic. He's fighting another one. He's got it in for him.
He's going for the full pack.
Marc,
that looked like a one-hit kill.
Yeah. Well, it looks like he's using that Quake spell that we were talking about earlier. It's very cool. Yeah. Looks to be very strong.
It definitely looks like he's doing a Garlips. Grinding that XP.
Yep.
Obviously has something in mind with it.
Hey, it's a strat. But I love that they're both in the exact same kind of area right now.
I think actually now they're in the exact same area.
Yeah. Same egg.
I think we're going to be fighting. We're fighting. We are egg dueling now, people. Now, is Markman going for the same strat here to grind out some XP? Or is this just a strategic stop along the way? Why is Marc on the left and Raef on the right?
I didn't ask them about their political persuasions.
Add that for the next round.
The short and tall of it is, I just decide one person is player 1, one person's player 2, and that's just how it felt.
No, and maybe it's just the way that I have this set up. But
you mean the
Marc's
fighting?
party's on the Marc's party's on the left, and Raef is on the, or now Marc's on the right.
Yeah, that might be a preference thing. It might be to do with the specific encounter.
Oh, now they're both on the right.
Oh, Bova is saying that it's a sneak attack. So basically, it looks like you could be attacked from behind, and so yeah. That's the thing in Final Fantasy VII, so...
I
mean, now I understand why they hate eggs so much, because no one wants to be snuck up on by an egg. Yeah, attack from behind, there it is. I love that this is the kind of commentary where the commentators are learning things in real time about the game.
Looks like Raef's finished off the XP grind now, though.
Yep, he's off to some kind of storehouse of chests and pots. I mean, Link would make short work of that place. So is this Raef now benefiting from the fact that he doesn't have to level as much because he already did some leveling previously? Could be.
Possibly, but it looks like Marc's also given up on the on the XP grind. Definitely wasn't there as long.
No. Wonder what that's all about. Thank you, Bova. Much appreciated. We're very glad to have you as well.
Thank you. We are trying as best as we both knew going into this it was going to be a struggle.
Yeah.
But
the one thing I will say is of all the other games coming up, I have like at least played them once, I think.
Yeah, so have I.
So it's literally just this one that's kind of the one outlier, so to speak. I mean, certainly the rest of the races this month I'm more familiar with.
For me, this just proves true friendship, because you were just like, hey, can anyone do commentary? I'm like, I got you, bud. And then I looked at what the game was. Like, oh no.
I appreciate that more than you know, because honestly, like, half the battle sometimes is just filling your life with people who, when you ask them to turn up, they turn up. Do you know what I mean? As an adult, this is what I find. So, for everyone to be on board with this crazy idea and then like go, yeah, sure, I've never played this game, but we'll talk for 2 hours. I appreciate you, massively appreciate you.
We'll figure it out.
I mean, we've almost made it to 1 minute, 1 hour. Fuck.
That never true word has been spoken. We almost made it 1 minute, and then we ran out of 1 minute. Then we ran out of all of our Final Fantasy knowledge.
But as we near the 1 hour 10 mark, I think we've done a remarkable job of filling space.
I think so.
At times, we've even described things that are happening.
Provided that Boover's told us in chat.
Yeah, of course. And speaking of, Bova says, Marc going back for revenge against that spicy boss from earlier that Raef just outright skipped. Oh, so Marc's gone back for seconds.
To that apparently what is meant to be a dark elf.
Yes, yeah.
It reminds me more of the old woman in the bathtub in The Shining.
Yeah, I can see that. I think maybe there was a character limit. Maybe they were like, old woman from bathtub from Shining wouldn't fit. They had to
copyright issues, maybe.
Yeah, they had to compromise their artistic vision and settle for dark elf.
I mean, it's just not what you think about when you think about dark elf.
No. I'm with you there.
I mean, even just calling it WTF would have been more accurate.
Markman's also using like the Quake spell there, so it seems like the Quake spell really is a very useful tool in this run. It does a lot of damage.
It looked like, he lost, I think it was Edge there in the party, but has revived them.
Yeah, a lot of reviving and healing going on.
Now with Raef skipping this boss, Markman going back for seconds, I wonder what Marc thinks is the benefit here, and what Raef thinks. Oh well, never mind. It looks like they're both.
It looks like Bova has said that Raef is now fighting this boss also. So it looks like Marc tried to fight it earlier and wasn't strong enough, while Raef made the call early to not bother fighting it, to come back the second time. So
that's not even an elf.
No, if anything, that's like that's a standard wormy thing or dragony thing.
That's more dragon than elf. Come on, Final Fantasy. Come on. Come on now.
Ashnut, who is ahead? Honestly, I don't think this is our fault in the fact that we have no idea what's going on, but also genuinely it's very hard to tell right now.
So that's a good point. They don't have a way to the moon third sphere other than the shortcut that they mentioned earlier, so they're running out of places to check.
Yeah, so this must be a check, and by killing this guy, it must be maybe what they need for progress is locked behind it in some way. Possible.
And if Resident Evil taught us anything, the lols are when there's nothing locked behind it.
Yeah. then you're like, I guess I haven't done this puzzle. I mean, I did love the Resident Evil randomizer. It was great fun. I'd have to try and do one of those again because it really tests not only your knowledge of the game but also like this does. You can clearly see that both of these guys are very knowledgeable about the game, but it also means that you've got to like play on that knowledge. You've got to be able to go, okay, I can't get into this place, but I can get into this place. So, like, process of elimination, if I go this way, I'm more than likely to going to hit some kind of progress. And so you kind of favour routes based on likelihood or potential, I guess. But it looks like Marc's destroyed the boss.
What was apparently an elf dragon.
Allegedly a dark elf, yeah. And he's got an ag apple.
Yeah, Resident Evil was a lot of fun for myself and Marc, man, building that seed.
Yes.
Yeah, nothing there. That's the best time when you're like, okay, it's gonna be here. Yup.
Yep. I remember there's a infamous boss in Symphony of the Night. He's got the most health out of all of the bosses in the game, including the final boss. He's this big golden guy with sickles, and he's really, really strong. And I remember Marc, I think during the process of my playing, I went for it, I killed him, I got behind him. I found out there was literally nothing there, which was really annoying. But then I think it was both Marc and Mr. Matt Internet, we all went for that boss because we were like, something good's got to be behind this boss because he's so strong. And it was just so heartbreaking to then find that it was one of the rubbish things you didn't need at all. Especially Mr. Matt, because Mr. Matt died a lot on that guy.
Yeah, yes, he did have a hard time with that boss. I think he was quite behind very early on through some just really bad luck, and towards the end there was a chance that he might have caught Marc, man, and then that boss just kind of finished it.
Yeah, exactly. Which is a shame, but I mean,
which was a shame for the race, or for him for the race. Yeah.
Yeah.
But and it's just unfortunate that we can't hear Raef, because obviously Raef is still fighting the dark elf dragon, woman from the bathtub shining boss.
Yeah.
And we don't get to hear the reaction of what when they get the item.
Oh yeah, that's true. Actually, I mean, unless we call in on him now.
No, let's let him have the moment. Actually, no, let's call in. Let's see if we can get a live reaction. Let's call in.
Okay. I'm going to unmute him.
Okay.
Good afternoon, RaefGall. You're live.
Hey, I am.
There's been some talk between myself and Tates about this boss.
Okay.
We refuse to believe in either stage that it looks like a dark elf. What do you think?
You know, you kind of have to squint at it in the first phase. The second stage is definitely blatantly a dragon. Yeah.
Good. We got it from an expert who plays this game a lot, so, you know, our hunch paid off, Tates.
Good. If you could please write to the developer and get them to fix that, that'd be perfect.
In the next patch, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll see what I can do.
So,
how's things going? How's things going with this boss fight?
Boss fight. This has been a really obnoxious boss fight so far, but it's going okay. Obnoxious is better than hard. And we're kind of in the clear once we get to phase 2 here, once he turns into a dragon.
It's kind of ironic that it becomes safer in phase 2.
So it's not supposed to. There's a programming error. As with many of these old games, they forgot to flag this as a boss.
Right. Oh.
So
and there
you
you go.
can use things like stop. Spells that you're not supposed to be able to use on bosses.
Oh, I see.
So you can kind of lock him in place. Oh my god. It's not what we wanted.
Oh no. So
That's
was this a check you were hoping for something more?
So I am down to pretty much the very end of the stuff that is available to what we've got before we go to the moon right now. So I was hoping for a key item of any kind that would open up another thing to check before we go through all the cutscenes to go up to the moon. But it looks like we are.
The seed's really forcing you to exhaust all your options.
Yeah, we've been. As much as it's been going pretty quickly, part of that, I guess, must just be because it's we haven't actually found a lot. Like outside of that Earth Crystal and the Twin Harp. Like Magma Key opens underground, that's it. Darkness Crystal opens the moon, that's pretty much it. And then we've got like those two tails that we found at the very beginning, the rat tail and the pink tail. Which we don't have access to do anything with. You need the hook to turn those in, and we don't have it yet. So there's like a bunch of stuff on Earth that we just haven't been able to do because we don't have the items to unlock the doors. So looks like it's boss rush time.
Yeah, from the sounds of it, then it's going to be the kind of seed that a lot of dominoes topple quite quickly in the end, or towards the end.
Most likely. Which is also going to be really interesting because now we have some potential as far as splitting, which way each of us goes.
Oh, and there it is, the moon.
Yeah, there's the moon. So if we do find something, there's the kind of option of do we go back to Earth and try and turn something in right away, or do we continue through? I mean, I guess at this point we're just kind of looking for one of the key items to unlock things.
Okay.
Oh, thank God. And there's one of the other things that I want
Oh,
I've been
good.
looking for.
Fantastic.
Cabins. Does that kind of traditional RPG full heal to your whole party at a save point. And we hadn't found any yet, which is why I was kind of scrambling around doing some shopping. Because otherwise, in order to heal, you have to go all the way back out to the airship. Which there's 5 bosses in the same dungeon on the moon, which is what we're going to be doing here.
So it cuts down on the going back out, healing, coming back in.
Yeah, it's a big dungeon. We're going to be doing a lot of walking to get to the bottom here, and then not having to walk back out is good. So,
excellent. Well, it sounds like you've got your plan together.
Yeah.
And Garlips had a massive question to ask. Maybe a little bit more of a personal question than what we're used to at the Wheel of Struggle and StruggleR. So hopefully you'll oblige us and give us an answer. The hell is your problem with eggs?
Yeah.
What can I say? I was really hungry. I just wanted some scrambled eggs.
What did they do to you? The absolute hatred you're showing towards these poor eggs.
They are full of nutrients and experience.
Don't you mean egg experience? Never mind.
Experience.
Experience.
I'm stopping the stream.
Yep, we've peaked.
You started
Absolutely
it.
peaked.
Fantastic. We're
pretty much. That's the best source of experience before you go to the moon. So I wanted to get those out of the way, get some levels out of the way before we started the boss rush. I may end up a little over leveled because a lot of these bosses give a lot of experience too.
Yeah.
But I'd rather have safety during the fights so I don't have to restart.
No, that's very fair. We raced Symphony of the Night last season, and there was a very, very strong weapon in the library, so I grinded for it immediately because I knew that even if I didn't need it for most of the run, it would just make the end game a lot easier because I could coast a bit when it came to bosses.
Exactly.
So. Cool.
Exactly. So yeah, outside of that, we're pretty much. I'm just looking for a couple items, and then we're done. This is looking to be a very quick run, depending on where these items are.
Yeah, I was about to ask. We're sitting at just over 1 hour 20 minutes. If you had to take a stab at a time, what do you think?
You know, I feel like if I cut it too short, I'm gonna jinx myself.
That's fair.
We know where we're at right now is we know where one of the objectives is. The other ones are all random and could be at any of these locations. So it's pretty much wherever one of the. As soon as we find the item for one of the 3 quests we've got left, we're good.
All right. Well, best of luck with it. We'll let you get on with
Thank you.
your journey on the moon.
Too.
I'm sorry, we're definitely not just going to skip over the fact that you're about to fight Mike Wazowski.
It's true. And
Or
I'm
just-
going to do that by blowing up my own character. Like you do.
It's the only option when you're facing him.
True. It's just dangerous.
All right. Well, we'll check in a bit later.
Sounds good.
Okie dokie. And yeah.
I was just going to say, I'm more and more interested in this game as the scenes progress. We're fighting Mike Wazowski on. Look at what Marc Man's fighting.
wow! Is this? Yeah, there's an octopus and a. Should we? We've got to go in for Marc now, surely.
Yeah. Yes.
All right.
Yes. Let's do it.
Marc Man, you are live. We can see an octopus.
Ha! Octopus! What's up, guys?
Was this the one that was referenced earlier?
No, it's a different game. Sorry.
Oh.
I like this guy. He's got a devilish grin.
Yeah, he's kind of an asshole. I'm probably gonna wipe here, but we're gonna see how it goes.
Okay, but hang on. I'm confused about what we're seeing here. Your characters are standing on what I can assume is the floor, and the
Yeah,
octopus.
He's swimming in the ground. Yeah.
He's swimming on the solid floor. Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to reset out of this. He's just too strong for me right now. That's all right. Good to know. Good knowledge.
And then I also saw you walk past a duck earlier.
A duck.
I'm sure it was a duck. This might be
Oh,
all over again.
Yes. The fat chocobo.
Or duck.
Okay. Yes. A duck. In the normal game, he'll hold your items for you, but in this, he's kind of worthless.
You're now on the moon, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Mhm.
So, tell us about how and why you decided to go to the moon.
Well, I have exhausted all of my other options. I was hoping not to come here. I was hoping to have more checks on the Earth. But like I said earlier, man, the key items are being stingy. So yeah, it kind of forced me up here. I don't have any other place to go.
Were you disappointed in the Dark Elf drop?
Incredibly. That and Keyless Tower was also a bust.
And where do you stand on the Dark Elf and its look? Garlips and I were discussing to ourselves, obviously, during the commentary, that in no way, shape, or form does Phase 1 or Phase 2 even look like a Dark Elf.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely no elf-type creature I've ever seen. So yeah, I don't know.
But I mean,
He's kind of got that like chat room troll vibe about him.
yeah.
I like that.
Tate was thinking naked lady in the bath in The Shining, old lady.
Ugh.
Yeah.
All right, big money, no whammies. Let's go. Okay, vanilla pale dim. We can do this.
Oh no, I've seen that before. That's the dark elf, Marc.
That's a Dark Elf.
Yeah,
that's,
it's
you're very wrong.
this is the light version of him.
That's the same color. That's the same color. This game, I swear. I'm more intrigued and more disappointed as the screens go by.
We can do this. This is a fight I can do.
So, you talked about exhausting your options on Earth and traveling to the moon. Is the hope that now that you've cleared a lot of the checks on Earth, that there the rest are going to kind of topple like dominoes towards the end?
It's gotta. Like, that's really the only thing that can happen right now.
Fair.
This asshole just go down. This is where you normally fight Pale Dim. So he's totally standard.
Dark Elf.
Dark Elf.
So we're approaching the 1 hour 30 mark.
Mhm.
If you had to give a rough ETA, what your time's going to be, I know obviously it's very much up in the air, but what would you say?
If I had to guess, I'm looking at about 2:15.
Okay.
Okay.
These last checks very well could have me doing a lot of back and forth. Grab something on the moon, have to go back underground, have to go from underground to topside. Like, it could be all over the place.
Ah,
All
well,
right.
best of luck with it.
All right, thanks guys. Take care.
All right, we'll see you in a little bit.
Bye.
Okay. Well,
Interesting. So
yeah.
Raef's still on Mike Wazowski.
He is. I really wanted
This
to
has
say
been-
something about Mike Wiskowski to Mark, but I thought better not.
Yeah. I had to stop myself a couple of times there as well.
Yeah, I think what this is proving is that both of our races here today are very much evenly matched. They both know the game,
Yes.
they know the checks, they know what they're supposed to be doing and where they're supposed to be going, and that's why they're making so many of the fairly similar decisions.
Yeah, I think with randomizers, as fun as they are, depending on the game, there is really only so much you can randomize, and it is really just about the checks at that
Yeah.
point. And if you're as good at the game as these guys are, it's really just, regardless of the randomizer, you're almost kind of running the same checks a lot of the time, and it's
Yeah.
just
It was the same with Symphony of the Night. It's
yeah.
the meta, I guess you would call it the meta, like basically dictates which checks are the most logical to make. So 99% of the time, if it's someone who knows what they're doing, they're going to make the same checks as someone else would. So, I don't know. Yeah, it makes me think that sometimes in these randomized races, you should just go against the grain a little bit, because maybe one time it might pay off for you.
Well, I mean, if we had a third person playing this right now, for example, and because this is what I thought Raef was going to do when they went to the apparent Dark Elf,
So-called Dark Elf.
the so-called Dark Elf, that Raef was just going to skip the Dark Elf, and had Raef done that, he might have had a bigger or more of a lead than he does now. Now that we know that it was irrelevant.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so if you had that third person playing who just went, I'll try my luck, that could have swayed it. That could have made all the difference.
It would have been a literal wild card.
Yeah. So it is. Oh, there goes Mike Wazowski. Oh, is it? Nope, just the devil or death came out of him. But that's apparently normal.
Yeah, Bovers let us know that Raef had to reset, and it was saying that it looks like Mark would have to do the same, and it looks like Mark has, because now he's
Mark has
held
just
in again.
done it. Yeah, the Dark Elf, Garlops.
Sorry, yes,
Dark
Dark Elf.
Yes, thank you. And I just actually point out our bot, what our bot just put into chat there. 2 brand new entries into StruggleR coming up in what's that? Oh, a couple of days actually.
Yeah, Wednesday.
Yeah, Flame and Quantum P1 racing Tenchu, which is I know Tenchu. I've played Tenchu. I can't imagine running it, but I think that's going to be a very fun one to watch and a very fast one in terms of skill and mechanics. So that should be a fantastic one to tune in on for sure.
That race is a low percent race, which basically means that you're not using any items or equipment that you have to procure or get. You're basically trying to complete the game with as little as possible. And so basically, there's for people who haven't played Tenchu, it's a stealth action game based around it's sort of like set in Japanese kind of feudal times when you had like emperors and ninjas and stuff. And you play as 2 ninjas. One I think is called Rikimaru, and the other one's called Ayame or Ayane. And basically, what they're going to be doing is you get a little hook, like a little grabby hand thing that you can use to pull yourself up to like the second floor of a building, for instance. And I believe that's pretty much the only permitted item during that race. So it's going to be about knowing the map, knowing the people that you've got to assassinate and where they are, and quick movement across rooftops using that grapple hook. So it's going to be very exciting, and they're going to be racing both characters one after each other. So they're going to play through Rikamari's campaign, and then they're going to immediately move into Ayame's campaign as well.
Oh, that'll definitely be a fun one to watch.
Yeah, totally.
Absolutely. Oh, look at this. Poor Ash in chat. It's not a tapeworm, it's a dark elf.
Yeah.
Ash.
Yeah. It's a dark elf.
That's it. I mean, I don't know why you'd even not figure that out. Marc's fighting a dark elf. So, yeah.
This is going to be the new one this season. It's never going to let this meme go.
That's it. Everything is now dark elf.
You're that, you know the guy who's like looking at a butterfly and saying, "Is this a pigeon?" That's going to be you, but is this a dark elf?
Is this a dark elf? Just to confirm. Well, I mean, you know, given that my entire branding is a goose that was clearly a chicken, this should come as no surprise.
Don't you mean a fat chocobo?
That was just a duck.
Yep, so as Bova is saying in the chat, Raef has just defeated the Dark Elf / Pale Dim that Marc is still fighting. So I would say Raef at the moment is technically in the lead. He's got like a shiny sword now.
So that means Marc still has Mike Wazowski to go.
Yep.
That's obviously that.
And Raef is now leaving the Earth and going. Leaving the Moon and returning to Earth.
I got to say there, that was again for SNES. That's a pretty epic transition there.
Oh yeah.
Orbiting the Moon like that, going by down to Earth. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Oh, did Marc? No, he did beat the elf.
Yeah, he did beat the Dark Elf.
Yes.
So
Raef's to lose apparently.
Oh, he has now got a blue thing that's above the sword instead of the sword.
Good blue thing.
I believe Bova's analysis of events to be accurate. So yeah, it sounds like Raef is now in the lead.
Yeah.
Oh, this fellow is very jumpy.
That's a Mario audition if I've ever seen one.
So yeah, it looks like Raef making this decision to go back to Earth is definitely something that Marc isn't doing yet.
No, and I wonder what that item has done for his decision making.
Yeah.
Because we haven't seen Marc take on or even go near Mike Wazowski.
Yeah, I mean, don't quote me on this, but I can see that there are two objectives on Raef's tracker that Marc doesn't have. One is conquer the vanilla ribbon room, and the other one is have Cocktail Force Legend sword with adamant. I don't know what that means, but I'm guessing one of those might be Mike Wachowski related.
Yes.
I mean, we're using the official terminology here.
Yeah, I'm sure that's in the manual. I'm sure that's in the manual. That's Mike Wazowski. Oh, Marc's just going for a nap.
And Raef is killing eggs again. He's back at it.
Eggs.
Final Fantasy IV, the Baker's Dozen.
the Great British Bake Off from Final Fantasy IV.
I mean, Raef was fighting that. Oh, there's Mike Wachowski.
There we go.
There we
okay.
go.
So we're not that far behind, but this fight did take a lot out of Raef before, so it's we're not far behind in terms of seeing Mike Wazowski, but this I'd say this took a good 10 minutes.
Time will tell if Marc can do this without resetting like Raef had to.
And not forgetting as well, Raef has definitely spent more time leveling up. So if Mike Wazowski was a struggle for him,
and he's back to leveling up now as well. So surely those are all levels he's got on Marc. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Marc deals with this fight.
Now, of course, if both of our runners knew that they'd be coming up against Mike Wazowski at this point, they would have stolen a small child, because as we know, small children are the worst enemy for monsters.
Yes, exactly. Or banished him through some kind of doorway back to Monsters Inc., where he comes
Yeah. But obviously, again, being a randomizer, the small child must be in another chest somewhere.
Exactly.
So they're just going to have to do this the old-fashioned way, I guess. All from the manual, people. Read the manual. It's all in there. Still going back.
Yep,
This
more
eggs.
I mean, you'd think wait, this place is made of lava. Surely they'll come out hard-boiled already.
I mean, you might have just broken the whole game there, Garlets.
Well, we're certainly gaining levels, so it's clear that they are the best enemy to fight in terms of getting XP.
Yeah, I haven't actually seen how much he's getting for an egg.
Neither have I, but I was just looking at the level ups, and there was like 2
Yeah.
or 3 characters at once there. Oh, and we're done with eggs. Meanwhile, Marc is hunkering in there against Mike. We're currently listening to RaefGall's music, by the way. I should do like a little icon that shows you which string you're getting sound from. I'll put that in a to-do list that I ignore till the next time we're doing this.
Hey, every stream is a learning stream.
Exactly. This one is going remarkably well, it gives me cause for concern.
Yeah.
I thought,
I think
because I don't want to dox anybody, but I'm pretty. It's fair to say that Markman is on the west coast of the United States. I believe that RaefGall is sort of like middle to east coast, and you're certainly east coast, while I'm across the Atlantic Ocean. Yet there seems to be only about 5 seconds delay between all of us, which is insane. So
yeah, that's pretty good.
Raef is off to the final boss. Ooh.
And Mike Wazowski, I think, was one-shotted.
Yeah, he's certainly gone. He's out of the picture. He's history.
I don't think Marc had to do a reset there.
No, I didn't see one.
So is this... Okay. So now... Surely Marc needs to now be...
The question now is, does Marc need to go to the final boss, or does he have to go to Earth for something that Raef's just gone for?
Well, we're still behind on the check marks. Marc's only got the 5, whereas Raef's got the 6.
Yeah, you do need the 6 before you can go to the final boss.
Yeah, so Marc's racing.
Yeah, the question
to get
now
one
is,
done.
Can Marc get another one on... Oh, there he is, Zeramus. There
There
he
it
is.
is.
I believe
All
I don't know how many phases he's got, but he definitely doesn't look like this in his final phase. So he's definitely got at least 1 or 2 phases.
Oh, and here's a new enemy that Marc's picked up here.
Yeah.
What are these ones called? Let me see. Let me
King
see if I can
Ryu
critique
2s.
these.
Oh, there's 2
Alright.
King Ryus.
I'll take that. It's accurate.
Marc's grinding
Yeah,
XP,
Marc's-
right? So
Marc's
that's what
grinding
Raef was
XP.
doing as well, but Raef went back to Earth to do it, which is interesting.
Back to, I mean, eggs are an acquired taste. Ah!
Oh, yep, it's changed. This is Brainmus? I mean, that's accurate.
That's accurate. That's accurate. Almost chicken-like, but I'll go with Brainmus.
So, I think we're looking at a RaefGall win here, unless something goes drastically wrong. I agree, Mr. Matt. It is time to get a chub on. You should all have a chub on at home.
Now, you'd have to assume at this point, Raef knows exactly from an XP and a health standpoint what his party would need.
Yeah, You
So you
think
have
he
to
would know
assume this is
whether
a
he
pretty...
can take it or not.
Yeah, this should be a pretty done and dusted boss fight, you would think, but...
Yeah, I mean, sometimes in these RPGs, things like RNG plays a factor, so sometimes the boss will have an attack they'll use 1 in 5 times or something, and so you could just get screwed on the dice roll, but for the most part, I think that's probably taken into account when you approach a boss, so it's probably already factored in, or at the very least, you know, he's got all his fingers crossed.
Yeah. Back to more tapeworms for Marc. Just a little tap. He just needs to tap it. Tap, tap, taparoo.
Just a little tap in. Do you know what? And this is going to sound like I'm being an arsehole. I promise I'm not, right? I can't believe how invested I am in a game that I had never watched any gameplay of before today. Genuinely, I feel I'm never going to play this game. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to give you false hope. I'm never going to play this game. But, like, I am more invested than when it started.
I can't believe that I could get so triggered by Dark Elf.
You know, that's really upset you.
It did. It did. I mean, you go through so much effort in this game, and okay, you know, the games have progressed. Games obviously better. Back in the day, this was amazing, and even not playing it, I can even remember when I saw, you know, Final Fantasy VII and stuff like that for the first time. I was like, look at this, like. Just look at the graphics on the screen and the transitions. You go through all of this effort, and then you get an old witch lady, and you're like, it's a dark elf.
Yeah.
Come on.
So what's just happened with Raef there? Because it looked like he reset.
Yeah.
Reset? He's using the shortcut.
Yeah, I had to reset.
Ah, so this is giving Marc a little bit of time to catch up.
Oh! The form the final boss takes is also randomized, so that was why the brain from Super Metroid.
Right, that makes sense. Because I was going to say, I googled what the guy looks like, because I wanted to make sure I know when we're kind of approaching the finale. And it's so helpful to know that I won't fucking see that guy, because they've got random sprites instead.
All your knowledge has just been wiped out.
Yep. I will say, if you Google Zeramus, he does look very cool. He's like a classic Final Fantasy boss that's kind of like a demigod or whatever. It just looks kind of.
I'd be very, very interested to know what happened there on that boss fight.
Yeah, I mean, is Raef gonna look at that and be at the moment that it all fell apart, or is because I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, Marc is still waiting for his last thing, but I feel like he's doing something right now that we saw RaefGall do moments before Raef decided to break for the moon again. So I think Marc's close to fulfilling his final.
I think so, because that was the Hoppy Mario jump guy that we saw earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be interested to know if that was just was it what you exactly said? Was it the one move that happens 1 in every 1,000 turns? That's a team kill.
It's quite possible.
Or you know, was it a misclick? You know, I wonder what happened there.
Maybe there are aspects of this specific final form that, like, if it truly is randomized. I mean, I don't know if it's just the sprite and the name that's randomized, or if it randomizes attributes as well. So it might be a case of that he needed to be tooled up a slightly different way to deal with this particular seed, this particular boss. I don't know.
Yeah.
I find if everything that I say out loud, I just reply with, it's possible at the end.
It's possible, yeah. Then you can't be wrong.
I know what the fuck I'm talking about, yeah.
Yeah.
It's possible.
So.
This is Marc's last task, then he takes the shortcut to the moon too. Yeah, so we are seeing Raef ahead, because he's fighting the final boss a second time now. However, if he has to reset again, he would potentially, I think, be giving Marc a real foot in the door for a win.
Because what's interesting, we said it last time when we had the Mike Wazowski fight. Raef struggled with Mike Wazowski and had leveled up a lot more.
Yeah.
It's been a lot more time XP grinding. Marc didn't have that problem. Marc, he still took a little bit of time on Mike Wazowski, but did it, I'm pretty sure, first time.
Yeah.
So what will Marc have against this boss that Raef's already struggled with for one turn?
And if it's not a huge discrepancy in the levels, then it has to be equipment or techniques that the characters have, surely. So maybe he's better equipped to fight this final boss than Raef is.
Maybe, yeah. We put a lot of onus on the XP and the leveling up, but maybe it is. Maybe it's equipment.
Yeah. I mean, makes total sense because it was exactly the same deal with Symphony of the Night, as we've mentioned this evening. But Marc is now approaching Zeramus, I believe. This is what it looks like, I think.
Oh yeah, Marc did get the 6th checkpoint there. I didn't quite see when that 140. Oh, just a couple of minutes ago.
It is interesting
got that
to
one.
note they both have the exact same checkpoints, so
yeah, they've both pretty much gone the exact same way.
Here we are. Wow, it really
right.
is close.
Yeah, it's a battle of the bosses. How is this going to play out? Now, and remember as well, Marc was estimating about another 20 minutes or so.
Yeah.
So he's even here quicker than he thought.
That's true.
Well, could he have used those 20 minutes for something else? The boss does look a bit like a meatball, and I'm a little hungry.
I ate before the race, so I'm currently considering whether to throw it all up looking at this thing. It's kind of cool that they randomized the final boss's appearance and naming stuff based on references to other games. It just makes it a little bit interesting. You get to the end and there's like a nice little surprise. I guess that's what they do with the randomized music as well, just make it a bit more fun.
Well, I think even when Marc and I were making your seed for Resident Evil, even that was fun. Just like, okay, well, what can we put in here? What's the last thing they're either going to want or think is going to be in this room?
Yeah, you can really play with the player's expectations, even in a randomizer.
And of course, there was the fun things of, yes, you would see a shark on the land squirming about.
Yeah.
Of course we put that in there.
I think my favourite was the fact that you had 3 save rooms off of one room, or something like that. That was very trolly.
all the save rooms basically going off of one another.
Yeah, because you look, honestly, when you're playing that rando, you're looking for those save rooms so much. And I was like, oh, I found one. Oh, I found 3. Great. You kind of want them to be spread out. But we are watching Raef and Marc face off against the same boss at the same time, which just goes to show nearly 2 hours in, they're not that far divided in terms of time or approach.
I don't think we have any HP or information in terms of who's further ahead. All we can really tell you is Raef has been on this boss longer than Marc has, but we don't know.
Yeah.
Like, Marc might be hitting it, getting more damage out of it on his attacks, but we're just going to have to wait and see.
That's absolutely true. We have no way of knowing. I guess we'll know. I'm imagining they will pause their own timer if they complete the race.
I mean, Raef's not looking good right now. Just in terms of looking at the party, but I mean, again, this might all be. In fact, actually, Marc's looking worse.
There's the reset. There it is.
There it is.
Oh, that's giving Raef some breathing room.
Yep. So let's see. Does Marc?
Dare I say it, Tater? I think I'm going to use the word. It's gripping. This is gripping.
It is. It is. It's exactly what you'd want for your first race in StruggleR.
No one is more shocked than I. Fantastic. We're knocking it out of the park.
All right, we're doing great.
Yeah.
I think we're doing great. Yeah, so Mark's obviously aware of, or thinks he's aware of what he needs here, picking up some additional equipment before going back in.
It looks like
which I'm pretty sure Raef did as well, if I remember
he's doing
correctly.
the same kind of retool that Raef appeared to do.
Yeah.
So the question now is, will Raef's retool win out, or will he have to reset and retool again?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's basically it, right? Who retooled better?
Yeah.
Who's the best tool out of these two? That's what we need to find out.
Yeah, it's hard, but we're gonna have to come to a conclusion here soon. We've spent 2 hours wondering which one.
I mean, this is a tough thing, right? Especially when you're not familiar with the game, and I'm sure people in chat are aware of kind of what's going on. But for us, I don't know if Raef is winning or losing.
Yeah, it's until we see that black screen and that kind of like that text at the bottom, we're assuming he's on target unless we see that screen because it's a reset. I love that one of them has a spell called Nuke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just does what it says on the tin.
Yeah.
So they went to all the effort to thinking that thing is a dark elf, and then you got to that weapon, and they're like, "Oh, just call it a nuke."
Yeah.
Don't we have a fancy mythical kind of? It's a nuke.
It's a nuke.
All right.
Yep. Magics became invalid. That's.
I mean, that sounds ominous.
Yeah, I think hopefully it's just boss magics. It looks like a kind of a debuff to stop the boss using spells. But this is really because Marc is doing some real retooling here. He's walking around, he's buying things on purpose to equip them. He's really going shopping. Is this the shopping that maybe Raef was doing earlier on? Maybe because I don't remember Raef's retool being this long.
Yeah, no, I think this is. I think you're absolutely right. I think this is Marc kind of getting back onto the same kind of level.
Yeah. Which is that's also weird because we were thinking at one point that he had more or better equipment because he dealt with Mike Wachowski quicker, or at least in one go. Maybe different equipment, different bosses, different types, you know.
I think it's also different opinions as well, right? Marc might have seen something in that original fight that Raef didn't.
Yeah, quite possibly.
And is basing the retooling off of that. But I mean, it looks like, again, it's hard to say because we can't see XP. We don't know what they're thinking, but it doesn't look like
Marc has at least finished his retool now.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like Raef is having it all his own way.
No, it does look. It looks like it's been very close here a couple times to a total wipeout.
Yeah.
I guess so long as he's got one person there kept alive, healing and reviving other characters, it'll be okay, hopefully. Oof. That's a total wipeout.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Suddenly everything has changed.
Wow. Okay. So let's see what Raef does here now then. Is this going to be another retool or can he adjust?
He's going in the volcano. This is egg grind. Egg grind.
This is egg grind. Yeah, we are back to egg grind. We haven't seen an egg grind from Marc. We saw a little one earlier.
Yeah.
But nothing. Oh no, we're not getting eggs.
Oh, interesting. I felt sure we were on an egg grind.
It was only one of the very few areas that I remember, and Raef just made me look like a complete arse there. So
thanks, Raef.
On Marc, man.
This is very interesting though. So like Raef has had 2 shots at the final boss now, while Marc's had 1. And he's on his 2nd. Yeah.
And this, I think we're doing the same thing as the eggs. I think we're still grinding. So unless this eyeball gives us
a different kind of experience, or maybe
or just more
quicker encounters, something.
Yeah.
Like that. It did look like with those eggs you had to like fly between the 2 places. So maybe this is quicker. I don't know. It's possible.
Now see, this one makes sense. This one's called Alert. It's an eyeball, obviously some type of security.
Yep. Yep.
It matches.
Totally. Oh, that's a reset from Marc.
Oh. Okay. All right.
This is
So
really
we're 2
fun.
for 2.
Yeah, I'm wondering if both of them have thought, because they're in a race setting, they have to go for the final boss as quickly as possible, and they're finding
Maybe.
that they've gone a bit too quickly.
Over in there, Raef is looking for items specifically that he can steal to get more eggs / dragons for
Oh.
more XP.
So yeah, it looks like you need some kind of item to make the eggs appear, and that's what Raef is farming now.
Right, and they're both in panic mode. I think you're right, because they both said it. When we went and spoke to them, they both kind of acknowledged each other's skill level of, if I'm here, the other is either ahead of me or not far behind.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
they both know if I'm at the boss, the other one's going to be at the boss, or it's been at the boss, or is about to be at the boss. So it is get to the boss and fight the boss with the most minimal amount of XP, weapons, whatever it is, to get it done quickly. And
Yeah.
both of them have failed twice at that now.
Oh, I'd like to take a second to acknowledge, welcome in Kylorian Orr, known loser, in the chat. It's been incredible, Kylo. Marc and Raef have both had 2 shots at the final boss each and failed. Marc is on his 3rd. Raef has decided to try and farm items and XP. Yeah. Look, you beat me, but you didn't beat everyone, did you? Like, I'm very easy to beat. I mean, apart from maybe for Marc, man. It's XP, exactly. Neither of them feel comfortable right now. Both wiped. Neither knows what the other one did, so they're trying to figure out how to regroup quickly. Both afraid they're about to see time called. Yeah.
Yeah.
that's very accurate.
I don't think Marc retooled. Or if he did, it was a very quick
No.
one.
I think he just decided he was going to have another go. And, yeah, so we'll see how that plays out. Because Raef has definitely decided, look, before I go back again, I am making sure.
Yeah, Raef made his bed very early in that as well. And is definitely gearing, and there we go, back to the eggs.
Kylo in Orr saying that he will win all of his matches this season. I have no doubt, because he only plays games he's been playing for 20 years.
What, like Zelda 2?
Like Zelda 2, like Ocarina of Time, like Zelda Link to the Past. Basically, if it came out after 1995, he just... 98, he just doesn't want to know. Now, anyone can practice for 20 years. Anyone can.
Oh no, listen here, Tater. No, Kylo, we have moved on. You are no longer the StruggleR meme. Dark Elf is now the StruggleR meme for Season 2. It's been decided.
Yep, the hot new meme it dropped today.
Yep.
It's all about Dark Elves now.
All about the Dark Elf. And what is or isn't or could possibly be a Dark Elf.
I'm going to make the executive decision of switching over to Markman's audio, just on the off chance that he manages to pull this one off.
Okay. Fair. Mother Brain is in free enterprise, so no, it's all randomized, Kylo. Even the bosses.
Yeah,
So,
they
yeah,
have
that-
like references to other games and stuff, and the final boss can appear as them.
Kind of threw us a little bit as well.
Yeah, I mean, we were happy that the enemy looked like what it was called, but then we had it ruined for us that wasn't the game's originally intent.
But I guess, yeah, so since it looks like we are maybe, hopefully, possibly wrapping up here very, very soon, for anyone who's tuning into this last-ditch battle, both runners started off very, very similar. They did both kind of veer off their own separate ways, though, pretty quickly. It looked as though Raef was going for more of an XP kind of grind, going for the eggs a lot that we saw a little while ago. Markman looked like he was going for more of equipment style, and both of them kind of came together at the key same points at the same time, even though they were taking very different paths. Raef got to the final boss, got all the items needed, and got to the final boss first. Markman was maybe 4 or 5 minutes behind. Raef failed on the boss. Marc then failed on his attempt. Raef failed on the second attempt. Markman's now on his third attempt. Yeah. And Raef looks like Raef is now gearing up to start his third.
Yeah, it looks like Raef has decided to take the path of making sure that the third time is the last. Well, I think Marc is gambling. But I say gambling. Both of these guys know exactly what they're doing, and they're very, very smart at this game. But I think by jumping straight back into the final boss, I think Marc is kind of playing the odds of managing to do what he didn't do on the second attempt without putting in the effort that Raef is to make sure that the third attempt is the final attempt for Raef.
Yeah, and both Garlops now have been thrown a couple of times. Raef has struggled on a boss that Marc didn't. Marc struggled where Raef didn't, so we thought this might have been a battle that Marc might have done well in because he did well in other stronger bosses, but it's proven to be a challenge for both of them, and now really Garlops and I are just waiting to see when the credits roll. We don't know really at this point who's got the upper edge, who's got the stronger team.
We can see now that Raef is going for final boss.
Yes.
So it'll now be down to whether Marc can pull off this win or not. Because I think if Raef has done the planning that I think Raef is methodically working towards, this is the final attempt for Raef.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all to play for Marc. If Marc does win this, it will be because he decided to gamble on that third attempt going straight back into the fire.
Yeah, maybe he saw a mistake that he made in one of the selections, or just how the boss was acting in different phases or different stages of the fight, and he thinks that he can overcome that. But I mean, it's a not to quote Anchorman, it's a risky strategy.
It is,
because he knows if he loses this fight, he has to retool.
Yeah, it's and I'd never watched any Final Fantasy IV before today, and now I'm so invested. This is the hypest shit I've ever seen.
Oh,
are we thinking that that's it for Marc? If you
We're
see the boss
thinking that
cast
Marc
Meteor,
might have
it's over. Marc's got it.
He's timed it.
It's
2-3. He made that decision. He didn't go back and retool. And that
might
difference.
well have been the difference. Incredible scenes here at StruggleR. Remember, while we've got you on the edge of your seat, don't forget that Season 7 of The Wheel of Struggle is coming up. And if you want to take part, all you need to do is go to wheelofstruggle.com. I think it's time to crown our winner.
I think so.
Shall we? I will unmute him.
Yeah, I think
he's
so.
yelling, dogs are barking, girls are yelling. Sounds fantastic. Let's get in on that absolute chaos, shall we?
Ooh, berries.
Senor Markman, you are live.
Go put those back on the table, okay? Oh, hold on. I got kids.
That's okay.
I did it!
You did it, sir. We wanted to check in with you because that was... we feel... well, Tate, should we put the man out of his misery, first of all?
Sure. Why not? Let him have it.
Markman59, we can confirm that you are the winner of this race.
Yay!
GG's!
I was hoping so, because, like, man, he hasn't called me yet. I know he's got to be at the final boss by now.
You will have an amazing time watching the VOD back, let's just say that.
Yes, and not just because of our very colourful commentary that definitely was done by experts 100% of the time.
And apologies to cut you off really quick here. Grom, thank you so much for the raid. Party of 7. Really appreciate it. Guys, welcome in. You have just joined us at the end. We do have a winner. We're talking to our winner right now, Markman, after 2 hours and 3 minutes of this Final Fantasy IV randomizer. But yes, welcome in. Welcome.
Let's
Yeah.
go!
So, so we wanted to talk to you, Marc, because basically, we can let you know now that Raef is on the final boss right now. It's his third attempt at the final boss, and you also had a third attempt at the final boss. But the difference appears to be after the second attempt that you had, you jumped right back into the fire, while Raef decided to go and level up and farm items. So we were looking from the sidelines thinking Raef is going to smash the third attempt. He's decided that the third attempt, come rain or shine, he's going to do it. But you seem to employ more of a kind of, not necessarily a gamble, but it seemed like you jumped back into the fire without retooling as much. And we want to know if that was a tactical decision. Was that you laying it all on the line?
Tactical, yes. So if you go back, you'll see that I missed when I used my Silk Web, which casts slow twice on the boss, which really fucked me over. And I was like, no, I'm not going to try this.
Fair enough, fair enough.
If you try to use the item too early, it doesn't target the new form, and so it just cancels out and you don't get shit.
Oh, when it transforms into, well, brainless in this
Mother Brain.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, so that was just me goofing up mechanics and being like, all right, I need a retry.
Major congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, after the first wipe, I was like, man, I'm taking way too much damage from that big bang. So I went around looking for some armor and stumbled into the cursed ring, which helped me a ton.
Yeah.
So mechanics, the boss's speed, more to boil it down, the boss's speed is dependent on the speed of the middle character in your lineup. And so if you equip your middle character with the cursed ring, which drops their agility 15 points, you're on a much more level playing field as far as turn order.
Okay.
So I got that cursed ring, I got Tella down to 1 agility, and it was a lot more fair after that.
Cool.
But how about fucking skin of my nipples beating it with 2 characters under 100 health? Holy shit.
Yeah. That was definitely close. We were kind of thinking there might have been another reset because you didn't really go back and retool. It was looking a little dicey there.
Yeah, I won't lie. I lucked out with the Meteo missing. If that Meteo had hit, I would have wiped.
Yeah.
But it does have a really high miss chance, so just happened to roll my way.
Okay, I do want to give you a heads up. So, RaefGall is in the final boss, and presumably going to beat it on this attempt. So there might be a point soon where we ask you, we're not going to mute you or deafen you, but we will be unmuting and undeafening Raef to talk to him. Would you be the one? Would you like to be the one to break the news to him?
No, you go ahead.
We'll talk to him and say, hello, well done, wow, you did it. And then we can be like, so now we can reveal. And then...
Oh, man.
I pulled
it's
a reset. It's a reset. No.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh,
yeah, sorry.
no.
I pulled stream back up. Now I can see... Oh, yep, there's the wipe.
That's unfortunate.
You might be interested to know as well, Marc, you were about... I mean, I know it's all relative in terms of things that you might have done that Raef didn't do, etc. But in terms of just getting to...
Zeramis,
the boss, you were about 5 minutes behind Raef.
Yeah, he got to the final boss first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
He was on his second wipe when you or about to start his second attempt when you hit it for the first time.
Okay. Yeah, I suspect he didn't go back for Leviathan. Probably didn't do Keyless Tower, and looking at his tracker, he also didn't do the Podium spot, so I can see where I went.
Is that the blue spatula that's above the golden sword?
Yes, that's the pan.
Yeah. I was like, Marc's got that, and Raef doesn't. I knew it was important.
Marc's got a blue thing, I think were the words.
Yeah, I mean, that was the expert analysis. I mean, we've been trying to use layman's terms this entire stream for all the plebs in chat, but, like, obviously we know our stuff.
Awesome.
That's another quick retool there for Raef.
Yeah, so he's back in Zeramis. This is attempt number 4 now.
Okay, guys. Before you tune me in, I have to take the biggest piss in the whole world, so I'll be right back.
No, that's absolutely
Go
fine.
ahead. If
It's
you
the
would
winner's
like-
piss. It's it's a
That's
rite
it,
of
yeah.
passage.
That's it. Definitely pros on comms, no help required whatsoever. we know how to bullshit around the bullshit, you know? We can figure that out, and then, you know, when it comes to actual information, that's where our Achilles heel is.
Yeah, we've got experts on hand, and we filter the experts through the lens of comedy.
Exactly. I don't know about you or what you feel, but I feel if there's another wipe here, maybe we speak to Raef and
Ask him if he wants to go
If he
ahead
wants to
with
continue.
another attempt. Yeah, quite
Yeah.
possibly that would be the shout.
put him out of his misery if he's struggling.
Yeah, we'll wait till this attempt either succeeds or fails. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a good shout.
All right, piss has been taken, and I know what I want to say to him.
That's the winner's piss. It's important.
And failing at actual commentary, heckling is always appropriate. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, there's been a fair bit of that as well.
Absolutely, that's what you're gonna do.
Oh, is that a reset?
Yep.
Are we gonna talk to him?
Yeah, let's take him off mute, see what he wants to do.
All right, we're gonna unmute. We're gonna ask Marc what he wants to do. So feel free to reveal yourself or don't. But I think at this point we probably need to let him know that he's second place, I guess. What do we want to do?
What do we want to do?
I mean, this is going to be attempt number 5. I think we should let him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
okay.
definitely need to
All right.
chime in.
Yeah.
Okay, right. I'm unmuting now. Mr. RaefGall,
Yo.
tell us about what's happening for you.
Well, I'm dying a lot because I rushed. That's pretty much what it comes down to. I'm assuming from the fact that Marc's been out of, been in chat with you for a while that he is done.
Oh,
Because he
you've been
didn't
naughty.
rush.
You've been looking at the bit you shouldn't be looking at.
No. Like he wasn't deafened.
Yeah.
You can see. he
That's
wasn't
what I
covered,
mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
We can confirm that Marc is out of the race. He gave up. He conceded.
Oh, okay.
No, he didn't. He won. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Edward, you must
Wow.
fight, Edward.
Yeah.
Believe in yourself.
Interesting
do,
fact,
I
by
do.
the way. So you
Yeah.
actually hit Zeramus first.
believe that.
By about 5 minutes.
Okay.
And it took Marc his third attempt at Zeramus to beat it.
Okay.
So
That makes me feel a little better.
yeah, there was a whole moment there where literally the lead was potentially changing hands at any given moment. Very exciting for us as viewers. I hope both of you will go and watch the stream once it's done.
definitely,
And
Mhm.
then you'll have many harsh words for us as commentators. But I think ultimately it'd be worth it for you both.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
you stuck with Podium? Okay.
Yeah. I've been as opposed to who?
I took Palom.
I had Pelham. I just switched him out for Tella because I need a better agility anchor.
Okay.
I'm at this point feeling like I probably should have taken the Tella earlier, done a D machine grind, so I actually had reasonable levels going into this.
So I wasn't gonna tell you this, but I have no idea how to do a D machine grind. I just totally never learned that.
It's fair.
But yes,
So, yeah.
we didn't want you to have to do this fight if you didn't want to, or if you're still wanting to see it through. We're absolutely fine with it, but wanted to let you know either way.
I will give it one more shot.
One more shot. All right, let's
No
do the one more
worries.
shot on comms.
Just because
All
we're
right.
here, and I think this may fix one of the problems I was having. We'll see. But yeah, no, I've been part of it's just been that it's weird. I'm not getting my silk web off.
I wiped because of that.
Yeah, it literally hasn't landed a single time. This is my 5th attempt.
I will gladly tell you why it's not landing when we're done.
It's fair. I'm pretty sure it's based on the white magic stat, and I'm not using a white mage to use it. But
Oh my god, it's a meatball!
Your cane is beefy. Holy shit.
yeah, I went back and did a grind for way longer than I should have.
Yeah.
And Kane got more levels than anyone needed.
It feels like both of you hate eggs to a significant extent, but I feel like Raef has got you beat, Marc, in terms of sheer hatred of eggs.
Oh
He's
yeah.
just a big omelet guy.
Yeah.
Gotta scramble them too.
Yeah.
Got that quake going.
You're going to be fine, Flame. You're up against Quantum. I don't know what that says. I don't know if it says anything.
We know that before Quantum can actually play any game, he has to check the perimeter. So you've got at least a good 15 minutes head start.
And in Tenchu, there are a lot of those.
Yeah.
I'm here
So
to deliberately antagonize the races. It's my job.
Your heel transformation is complete.
Transformation, lol. But yeah. Oh, by the way, Traverse Town was the music.
Yeah.
And we got to hear a snatch of both of it on both of your separate streams, so that was nice.
Oh, I'm so glad you caught that, because you were just switched away right as I was going in there, and I was like, oh, he's gonna have to switch back.
No, we got them both. I'm a professional.
You are a professional.
Or something.
I mean, but wait till you watch the VOD to confirm.
Yeah. That's a big statement.
Maybe giving you a little too much credit here.
Possibly. I don't know. Yeah, Flame, absolutely.
Yes, I'll
one of us,
do that
some
with you,
of
Flame.
us.
It's very straightforward. I did make a video. I did make a video, unless you don't have OBS installed. In which case I could do you a video for that as well, but I did do a video. I'll DM it to you. Thank you, Bova. I did
Thank you,
post
Bova.
it. I'm gonna tag you in it.
It's been a minute since I've had a chat with you, but hope you're doing well.
Bova is the MVP of this stream. Has been giving us non-stop helpful information.
What a guy. He is a nice guy.
He is.
Him and Raef and I were like a trio of racing.
Yeah, Bover, absolute legend of the stream, keeping us very much in check when needed. So very, very much appreciated. And Bover, hopefully, if you would like, I know Garlips has mentioned, you know, if you're not part of the Wheel of Struggle, get into the Discord. You don't even have to participate in the Wheel of Struggle if you want to be in the Discord, just to, you know, enjoy the mad bants that happens, or give your opinions on games or spins, or just keep up to date with the streamers if you want to watch a certain person run a wheel game. Feel free to join the Discord. You are not required to participate at all, or if you only want to participate in a specific game that gets spun, you're more than welcome to as well. But hope we see you all in the Discord. If not to be a struggler, to just be part of the community and
we have a lot of
wheel-adjacent
people.
We do. ERB, Escape Route British, very much wheel adjacent, massive part of StruggleR last season, as will be, I'm sure, this season. Springs to mind when we say
down
that.
for 3 races.
Yep.
ERB, is he coming in for Will this season? He keeps kind of tickling at it, like, oh,
Yeah,
maybe I'm gonna wheel this season, maybe not.
I don't think he wants to commit to, like, he likes the races because he can commit to one and say, okay, that's one, and not commit to like the whole season. But you know,
sure Peter just said you don't have to commit to the whole season.
Well, I agree. I love my brother, but trying to get my brother to do anything I want to do, the best thing to do is to like never mention it in his presence ever. If I talk about it, he'll be like,
spiteful.
Nah.
I got it.
Well, to be fair, I mean, growing up with me as a brother, I would expect that response from anybody.
No, I get it. I'm quite contrarian myself.
Flame, I don't know if the comms have been confirmed yet for year one, but
for
obviously,
Tenchu?
yes.
So
I'm not sure. Maybe.
So far, I think it's just me.
Possibly.
Yeah. Wait. Yeah. No. Yeah. I'm getting confused. Yeah. So far, it's just me. I can confirm that for the crash race, we're looking at me, Mr. Matt Internet, and Clythius. And I can also confirm that we are looking at the Mirror's Edge race. Is going to be myself, Mr. Matt Internet, and potentially Tater. So if anyone who knows Tenchu and wants to commentate, feel free to hit me up. But the other people can't really make that slot. It's a bit of a difficult slot for quite a lot of people, but unfortunately it's the one where Flamewheel and Quantum really lined up well. So,
Raef, how are we feeling about this attempt?
Much better. We'll see how it actually lands, but much better so far. There we go. We're in medio phase, so.
Oh yeah, he's got it on the downswing.
Yeah, this is what
I'm not gonna say
Over
for sure
told us
yet,
to look
but
out for.
yeah.
Yep.
When rocks start falling, you're usually in good shape.
Look at that, Marc. Look how many people are in his party, Marc.
Oh man, he's got four. He's got 4 people
There
up
we go.
that have control of their actions during the medio phase, and they have more than 100 hit points.
There it is.
Got by the skin of your teeth then?
Yeah, I got into medio phase with 2 berserkers less than 100 hit points. Medio
Oh,
missed.
jeez.
Medio missed, and I finished him.
Okay. Yeah.
Guys, great
There
job.
it is.
Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah,
Great
that
job.
was a good choice.
You, as for myself, as someone who hasn't even picked up a Final Fantasy game, you both made that a lot of fun.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah,
Cool.
thank you. And thank you, Raef, for joining me. I appreciate the camaraderie and rivalry.
Yeah, no, this was a lot of fun to run, and extremely nerve-wracking for the ending there.
Oh,
It
dude,
was so close.
I was nervous at the start. My hands were jittering, and I was just overshooting just simple things like cave entrances. And I was like, okay, gotta calm down here.
I think I ended up going into Baron Castle instead of Baron Town a couple times, that sort of thing. Yeah.
So, I was wondering this, and I said it as a joke at the start of the stream, but I wonder if there was an aspect of it. Marc, you didn't play the wheel this season, and I know obviously StruggleR and the wheel are different things in terms of what your focus is, but just being part of that kind of competition and just that mindset, and then jumping into this race, do you think that had anything to do with, like you say, you're being a little bit jittery at the start there?
Yeah.
A little bit of ring rust?
Well, that could be. I don't know. When I do wheel games, it's kind of like me versus the world, and I don't really think of it in terms of getting nervous or anything. But having a head-to-head race, I mean, it's been like this for Zelda 2. It was like this when we did Castlevania, which Garlips won, and like this one here. Just that head-to-head PvP aspect of it really just kind of sets my nerves off.
It's a lot more personal.
Yeah. And I would not look at your times as an indication as to how close that race was.
That's what I was going to mention, is that you were talking earlier about being nervous and making little mistakes, overshooting things and what have you. I promise, from the layperson's perspective, aka us who know fuck all about this game, it looked like, honest to God, it looked like a masterclass. It looked like you guys were totally on the ball. You knew your stuff. You were making a lot of the very same decisions, not necessarily always at the same time, but you were constantly kind of if there was an optimal way to play, I feel like you were both doing it. So, and you'll see that when you watch the thing back. So,
cool.
I assumed it was going to be pretty close based on how the seed was falling out. The reason I died those first couple times, I literally went from the moon directly to Zeromus. Marc.
Oh.
Because I was afraid you were going to be that close. I was like, you know what? No extra levels on Palom and Porum. I'm just gonna go and see if I can do it.
Gotcha.
So
Interesting.
So I did the ribbon room and got
Yeah.
the last piece of the forge.
Yep.
And
that
I
is
had two sirens on me at the time, so I saved and did 2 of the King Ryu fights.
Gotcha.
Then I went downstairs.
Yeah, I had used all of mine before I went to the moon.
Gotcha.
So
yeah.
I didn't have any left. And
I'd stolen a bunch, and I think I did 3 or 4 eggs before going up to the moon.
I did 10.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
We were
You
wondering.
like your omelets?
Yeah, we were wondering about this because, well, you both fought Flying Mike Wachowski, right? And it seemed like
Yep.
Raef had more trouble with that than Marc did. I think you had a reset on it, Raef.
I did.
Is that simply because you sort of went for it before Marc did, or Marc did more stuff? Than you
So-
before that?
I went in. The agility system in this game is weird.
Okay.
I went in with my party set up in a way to make me go really fast. And in that fight, the little countdown is based on your character's speed versus the enemy. So,
Okay.
because my party was really fast, I ended up struggling to keep up with him, basically.
Yeah, so it probably looked like I was doing really well, but that was another fight I scraped by my teeth. I had everybody at countdown 2 when I beat him, so
Oh, jeez.
and I had no way to reset it at that point.
Yeah, I had a wipe, and then I switched Kane into the center spot, and that made it work really well because,
nice.
again, agility is weird.
Did you do Keyless Tower and Leviathan?
I did Leviathan, I didn't do Keyless Tower.
Okay, well there's a Cure 3 up there in case you're worried.
That actually would have helped.
I used it. I definitely used it in Zeromas. So
Yeah, that would have probably genuinely that might have actually made me one of my earlier Zeromas attempts go through.
yep, having that Cure
So-
3 for a counter medio. Yeah. The other thing
what
that I
was-
found that helped me a lot.
Oh, sorry, no, I didn't want to interrupt. I just remembered there was a silk web thing you were going to mention once.
Oh yes.
Oh, yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Raef. Yes, it's not based off your will stat. So when he does his transition from his first phase to his second phase, where you use the crystal and he transforms, if you use that too early, it targets the old boss and not the new boss. So you have to what I
You do have to do more of a hesitation.
Yep, you got to stutter it a little bit. So I sit on the item screen, so it's paused. I wait for the music to hit a certain point, then I back out to the main menu, and then go right back into item.
Gotcha.
That's
Yeah, I didn't. I knew you could target the sprite, but I thought all you had to do was wait until it was fully transitioned to the new sprite and the music.
There-
changed, but
yeah. There's a
apparently I
certain
just wasn't
point.
waiting long enough.
Yeah, there's a certain point in the music there where he becomes targetable, for real.
Gotcha.
And yeah, it's tricky. So yeah, that was what wiped me the second time. Was I screwed that up and didn't get it off, and then I was falling over myself.
Fantastic. Wow.
Gallops, you wanna bring us on home, and
Yeah,
we'll let all these lovely people go.
I believe it's time to crown our winner. So
Yep.
here we are. Here's the podium. Season 2, Race 1, Final Fantasy 4 Free Enterprise goes to Marc, man. But as we
Yay.
previously discussed, it was a very close race that traded hands several times, and no losers here, only winners today.
Only winners. Yeah, I knew it was gonna be tight, just because him and I have been kind of trading back and forth. Like, hey, I got this kind of a time, I got this kind of a time, but it was always within minutes of each other.
Yeah.
Regardless of the seed, we were always in the same zone. So I was like,
Yeah.
okay, this is gonna be a fight regardless of what happens.
Oh, totally, very close. So
It wasn't gonna be a
congratulations,
complete
Marc.
blowout like Kylo.
No loser, Kylorian.
No loser.
We will
I
move
can't-
on to. Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say I can't say anything like that right now against Kylo because I have to fight him next.
Oh, that's true.
Oh, yes.
See, I've managed to only organize one race against Kylo this season, which I expect to
Oh.
be thoroughly thrashed in, but, it's fine.
D-Mac, hurry up on the Zelda Super Metroid. Get your schedule in. I need you.
Oh yeah,
You're my only hope.
I've talked to DMAC. It won't be until at least February, but I will ask him about his schedule.
What a guy.
Cool. Okay. Oh, we'll briefly touch on the calendar as well. So this is the calendar for December. I've only shown you December's races because, well, could be asked to make a calendar beyond December. So here's December's races that are still to come. We've got a race on Wednesday with it's Tenchu Stealth Assassins featuring both Quantum P1 versus Flame Wheel. It's going to be low percent, which means using as little items as possible. I believe you only really use this one grapple hook thing that you start with. And it's both characters, so once one character's been completed through their story, they move on to the next character and do them both in sequence. On Friday the 20th of December, we've got Crash Bandicoot Classic being played in a regular any percent race between Adrian's Revenge and Decky F. That's going to
That one's gonna be fun.
It's going to be so salty, that race. Can't wait. And because Adrienne knows her Crash, but Deck wants this. I've been watching Deck practice. He wants this. So we'll see just how much he wants it. And then on Saturday, the 28th of December, earlier on in the morning when it comes to UK time, so sorry American people, unfortunately it's the way the schedule's worked, we're going to be doing Mirror's Edge True Glitchless between Hextree and Kramen. So please do mark these in your calendar. If you're about, feel free to call in and watch the races. No doubt they're all going to be absolutely amazing. And yeah, for news on any other races or changes in the schedule, feel free to be looking out on the Wheel of Struggle Discord. But I think that brings us around nicely to saying yet again, StruggleR is brought to you by the Wheel of Struggle. So if anything you've watched today has interested you and you want to know more, please do check out the Discord, where you can, like Tater said earlier, you don't have to join in on a season if you don't want to. You can watch from the sidelines, get a sense for it first, or even just enjoy the various memes that will develop and the rivalries that take place during the regular season of Wheel of Struggle. Thank you so much to our two racers, Markman and Raef. It was absolutely... Like, the fact that I've not watched pretty much any Final Fantasy IV before today, and the fact that I was on the edge of my seat at the end of that race, I think speaks volumes to how well it came across from both of you. So thank you for that. It was really, really genuinely exciting. And thank you. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
And
Putting
thank
all
you.
this together.
Well, we've got lots more to get through before the season is over, so
Hell yeah.
we've like 100% doubled the amount of races. So hopefully they're all going to go as well as this one did, which was pretty fucking good. And thank you so much to my co-commentator Tater84.
Thank you, Tater.
Oh, thank you very much. It's always a pleasure doing this with you, Garlops. And, you know, as always, whenever we get together, more memes have been created. What is a dark elf? Discuss.
Dark Elf is the hot new meme that's dropped for this season.
That's it. That's
I
it. But
approve.
congratulations to both of you. Well done to both of you. As always, I will always say this to everybody, no matter how many races I commentate. Massive, massive, massive thank you to Garlops for putting all of this together, organizing it, scheduling all of it, doing the OBS scenes, pretending he knows what he's talking about with Final Fantasy IV. Just thank you for scheduling all this and doing all of this for us. It is always a lot of fun.
It absolutely is.
Thank you,
Thank you everyone else for making it what it is. Honestly, it would just be me on my own otherwise. So thank you. Right. I have a question for you though, Tater.
Shoot.
Do you know how to raid?
Sure.
If you could find someone to raid and raid them, that would be fantastic. Because I literally can't do anything here. So we don't have to raid someone. It's just if we can, I feel like we should. But again,
I
we
don't
have to.
I don't have any wheelers or anyone that we know streaming at the moment, unless any of you guys know anyone that's on right now.
Well, if you can't see any wheelers, then I say we release the people. We let them go.
Release them to their own devices.
Yes, in the spirit of free enterprise, let everyone find their own airship and fuck off to the moon.
Find your own dark elf.
Mr. Matt, did you like my economy? Did you like my profits and my losses? My return on investments?
Mr. Matt Internet has been watching the entire race with great interest, and only half the time was yelling obscenities at me, so something must have been going right.
Right on. Thanks everyone for joining us. Appreciate the views and everything.
Yeah,
Come join us on the wheel for more.
hell yeah. Take care, everybody,